Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. And oh, call Emmanuel and see that his talent is real. That shots afar are made here. And to the Raptors winds will appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel. We come to see his contract's a deal. This is 3 times this month that Emmanuel quickly has gotten that chain. I want to say this to people, just like what Emmanuel said to Michael Grange in the interview last night when Michael tried to start some crap. Michael goes, Emmanuel, what could you chalk up to why you've been playing so well since LA? Emmanuel was like, wait, Michael, what? Wait, what? Perception is everything, especially in today's world. With the way AI and everything is fake and crazy, and they're trying to shape perception. Michael Grange's perception, which is held with a lot of Raptors Nation, which is silly because it's not the reality. The reality is in the beholder. And the beholder is Emmanuel Quickly and Darko Rajakovic. So I never looked at these highs and lows that y'all talk about. You've been saying this crap all year. What's wrong with you, Emmanuel? Why aren't you shooting well? Oh, you're amazing. You're shooting so great. He doesn't see any of this difference. Emmanuel plays one way. He plays all out. He plays for what his style is, and he goes out there and he does what he does. He doesn't see a difference between his success right now and y'all's perceived failures of him earlier in this season. He just doesn't see it, y'all. You don't get it. He's like, Michael, what are you saying, man? No, I don't view this like you do because I have all the glory to God and God is with me. It has nothing to do with your perception of failure and success because that's a mirage. That's your own bullshit. That speaks to the whole bigger picture in the whole society. People look at other people and say, you're not successful. You're not successful. Who the fuck are you to say whether I'm successful or not? You don't know me. That's it right there. That's it right there. Why did Darko adamantly say all in the fall, in October, in November, Emmanuel is fine. He's playing great. It's just some of the shots aren't going in. He didn't have any problem with the way Emmanuel was playing this whole season. His coach, if he had a problem with how Emmanuel was playing, you think he would have gotten benched? You think he would have got his minutes cut? If Darko had such a big problem with what Emmanuel Quickly was doing earlier in the season, if he was a real problem, then he needed to be traded because he's paid so much. Oh, all the fear mongering by jackasses like Michael Grange, and y'all fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Apology letters are still in a stack right here. We've Xeroxed the whole pile of them for Raptors Nation. And once again, I mean, listen, this evidence is going to keep stacking up. The rejoicing for Emmanuel that I sing on streams after games where he is clearly clutch for the Raptors to win. I'm gonna keep singing it every morning when you come back and see me on a reaction. If Emmanuel is hitting those 2 big threes, if he is doing something huge to help the Raptors win at the end, call Emmanuel and see that his talent is real. That's right. Because that man's talent is real. And this is the thing, man. We need this guy on our team. We need this guy on our team. The balls to hit big ball shots against the champs, against the Kentucky Wildcat like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kentucky Wildcat like Emmanuel Quickly would say, You know what Shai said after the game? This is crazy, man. You know what Gilgeous-Alexander said? He said, man, I don't know what happened, man. I thought we had control of the game. Like, we had it under control. He didn't have any idea what happened. Like, what the fuck? The Raptors won? He's like, wait a second, we were cruising. We were doing what we're supposed to do. We were taking care of things. And then I don't know what happened. We had control of the game. That's what SGA said last night. You know what happened? You know what happened? Y'all got out-talented. Y'all got outworked. And y'all got out-game plan. And y'all got beat. We had multiple facets working right at the right time. Well, look at that veteran leadership. A year ago, the Raptors, they couldn't close a game to beat a veteran team. They'd lose a game like this just because they didn't know how to do it. Now they've beaten the champs in a very, very methodical way, just barely by 2 points to win and snatch a victory from them. A veteran team, a team that went 7 games in the finals and won the Larry O'Brien last year. They are the team that's supposed to get in the driver's seat in the last couple of minutes of game and drive the game to the W for their side. That's not what happened last night, is it? No, it's not. The Raptors executed and did the right and winning things on both sides of the ball to make sure that they won the game and got that W and snatched it from our great Canadian MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He didn't understand it. It's like quickly thieved him. Yeah. It's like quickly came and said, I'm going to hit 2 threes, almost the exact same spot over by my bench. And you will see his talent is real. That's what I'm saying. Big ball shots by big ball players, by dogs. That's right. That's right. And when his foot is set with that little weird off-centered, 1 foot forward kind of set that he does and that push, I have every confidence that Emmanuel Quickley is making that shot. I don't doubt him. You know why? Because he put in the work, because he put in the reps, because it is second nature to him. It's not flaky shit. He's not a streak shooter in a way that you think he is. In some ways, he is protected by God. It's in his name. And because of that, clutch factor, high. Emmanuel's good. We need him on this team. High. That's what I got to say to this. And I will continue to do this for the rest of the year when Emmanuel shows up and helps us get that big dub at the end against a team we shouldn't have beaten. We shouldn't have beat them, right? That's what they say. What the fuck? The Raptors beat the Thunder last night, the champs. They gave them their 10th L. They made sure that they're not going to get that Golden State Warriors record for best season in the NBA's history. No, we stopped it. We killed that last night. Handed them a double-digit loss column. 1-0. 10 losses. Yeah, this is serious stuff, man. And some fans are still saying, I'm still not going to give Quickley a pass till I see the end of the season. What do you need to see, motherfucker? What do you need to see? What do you need to see? 40 points against Steph Curry and then 2 daggers to kill the champs on their home court. What do you need to see? And who the fuck are you? This guy who came in here 2 days ago, Walter, talking trash about Emmanuel. How do you fucking feel right now, Walter, with your bullshit coming in here talking about Emmanuel Quickley on Saturday? Yeah, I don't regret a single damn thing I said to you, Walter 10, who came in here with his bullshit. Yeah, we don't do this. This is why we don't do Emmanuel slander, because Emmanuel Quickley is like that. He's like that. And we should be very, very fortunate and grateful to have him as our starting point guard on our team. I'm telling you right now, man. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Oh, call Emmanuel, and he will win the game for us. All right, we're going to do the stars of the game. We've got the Instagram stories. We got all the fun stuff, the classic card. Let's get right into it. First of all, the Raptors 905 are back in action tonight in Osceola, Florida, playing the Osceola Magic. And, well, they've lost 2 games in a row, and they've been using replacement players recently. So it's a really low point in the 905 season right now. We'll have to see if Coach Andrew Jones can get the team back on the winning side of things tonight against the Magic. It is Looney Tunes night in Osceola tonight. I know the whole United States is Looney Tunes. So does this need to be a specialty night? The whole United States is Looney Tunes right now, but they got Looney Tunes night at the 9:05 game tonight. And let me give you a rundown of the team we're playing tonight. First of all, this is who the Osceola Magic are, just so you guys can get a little bit of a primer on their roster. I don't think we played them this year yet. We did not play them in the tip-off tournament, I believe. William Baker out of LSU is their center. Ace Baldwin out of Penn State. Reese Beekman of Virginia. He has some NBA experience. Our old friend Colin Castleton is on this roster for the Osceola Magic tonight. We'll see possible Florida Gator Colin Castleton and former Raptor on the floor for them. Jamal Kane out of Oakland. Jerron Cumberland out of Cincinnati. John L. Davis of Florida Atlantic. Alex Morales out of Wagner. Justin Minia, Providence. Lester Quinones of Memphis. Orlando Robinson of Fresno State. That's right. Orlando Robinson is technically on the Osceola Magic G League team. It's weird because we never sent him to the G League, did we? When he was on our team last year. Yeah. Javonte Smart also at LSU. He's a pretty good player. CBL standout. Ottawa Blackjack, I believe, Javonte Smart. And Philip Wheeler. So that's the roster for the Osceola Magic. A couple of former centers for the Raptors last year are on this Osceola team. Maybe we watch them tonight. Maybe one of them will magically appear back on the Raptors as the third center. I mean, Bobby, seriously, was Orlando that bad? Was Orlando that bad? Seriously, could we get Orlando back? Maybe he's too slow. I don't know why they don't like Orlando Robinson. I don't get it. The referees for tonight's G League game in Osceola, Chalisa Painter is the crew chief, number 66. Our referee is Gina Catanzariti. And, well, she's in her first season as a non-staff official, number 75, out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Her favorite TV show is The Sopranos. She likes Forrest Gump. She likes to listen to Beyonce. Her favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. Her favorite meal, homemade pasta, meatballs and sauce. She likes to use the IG. She most like to visit Southeast Asia and yacht around Italy, bougie. Her hidden talent is half-court shots. That's right. She knows how to take half-court shots. That'd be cool. Like, that's a good skill in the NBA. Like, if the referee's hitting half-court shots at halftime, that's a pretty impressive thing. People might be like, wow, she's cool. Catanzariti has 8 years of officiating experience in women's college basketball with NCAA tournament assignments in 3 consecutive years from 2023 to 2025. She was also a high school referee in New Jersey for 2 years. The third ref for the G League game tonight is Jacob Lear, number 53. So, yeah, that's your ref crew. Painter, Catanzariti, and Lear on the site for the Raptors 905 in their G League game tonight. So if you want to join us in the YouTube chat tonight, the Raptor Freak family will be in there in full effect, I'm sure. Fans like superfan Monique Lawrence, the luminary of the Raptors Nation, and other people like KT and Isaac. We're usually in there chatting up and chopping it up during the 905 games. If you want to watch some more Raptors basketball tonight, you don't have to just watch the main team. The 905 is fantastic this year also, even if they're in a slump at this point presently. So I'm just going to root them on, and hopefully they can get a win tonight. So, yeah, there's your G League check-in for tonight's game. Ref check. That's right. All right, let's see. Trevor J's words of wisdom. Good morning, Commissioner Fun. Trevor J, holding it down for us in the Sunshine State in Fort Lauderdale. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, but in her own wings. Always believe in yourself. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, listen, we have hidden talents and hidden gifts that we don't know about that are just inert and kind of underlying, and through our whole life, we don't even realize it. You know, just like somebody picking up a guitar and all of a sudden, yeah, I'm good at this. Oh, wow, I can really Eddie Van Halen. You know, some people are just naturally gifted at different things. Well, there's things that we're naturally gifted at that we haven't had a chance to have to do, and we find we are all of a sudden. Yeah, and hopefully the timing of finding out, wow, I'm good at this, is actually very helpful, and you know, for all kinds of reasons for yourself. No, I like this. I like this. What is the bird? Is the bird worry about the tree breaking? No, because the bird can fly, and that's a statement about self-reliance. That's a statement about have the skills yourself to take care of yourself, just in case something does break. Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of underlying messages in that word of wisdom, Trevor J. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Trevor. That's a little bit different than your normal words of wisdom. In some ways, that's a very philosophical one. Very philosophical. Yeah, Trevor's saying big win for the Raptors, taking down the champions. Scotty Barnes, defensive play, and quickly winning the game once again. Yeah, I like how quickly shut up Grange. Yeah. Yeah, it was two-sided thing, man. You got Quickly hitting important threes right in a row, and you see what I'm talking about. Quickly is a quick scorer. He can get a lot of offense and a lot of points really fast. And, he's man, they forgot about him, and he got to that one spot. It just worked really well, and he was money. He was money. Yeah, that's why I say the fourth quarter, if Brandon's not able to overpower and just do it himself, if Scotty is not able to cleanly get into the lane and get respect from the refs and get fouled and get to the line or make his shot, our guys are RJ and Emmanuel. Those guys are fourth quarter dudes. Those are the kind of guys that want to hit the big shot and are thirsting for it and that will go and hit it. That's what I'm saying. That may be part of the reason why that OG trade is not totally even, because once again, I'm gonna say it. We got two quality starters and they got one quality starter in this deal. And the two quality starters that we got, well, both of them have clutch factor. And that's something that when OG was on our team, we lacked. We didn't have no clutch factor on our team. Gary Trent Jr., maybe Fred VanVleet here and there. But for the most part, clutch factor wasn't very high on the Raptors team. And there were a lot of close games a few years ago that the Raptors just went off into the night with a loss because nobody could step up and be a man and take the steering wheel of the game and drive it to the W for the Raptors. That was one of the most frustrating things about Siakam. And to his credit, he's gotten better at this, especially recently with what he's doing for the Pacers right now. And I can see OG over there carrying the Knicks right now, being their leading scorer on many nights. And honestly, people can say Jalen Brunson this, Jalen Brunson that, but the heart and soul and the reason why the Knicks are the Knicks is OG. Yeah, I can say that. This is different, man. You got two guys. They're both starters. RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly we got in this trade. And both of them, because RJ didn't do it last night, but he has that in him too. We've seen RJ hit amazing big shots to help us win games near the end. Yeah, if Brandon's getting covered up real nice by Lou Dort and Scotty's not allowed to do stuff because that lane's clogged, well, call 5. Call 5 and see what he can do. Yeah, and that's what we did last night. It's amazing. Yeah, Scotty, well, Scott. In some ways, he did pivot into what I was saying last summer. I kept saying to people, we don't want Scott to be a superstar. We don't want him to be the leading scorer that just does everything for the team and just we rely on him for both ends of the court. We want him to be more like a Ben Wallace, more like a Bill Russell, more like a Tim Duncan, a defensive anchor, a team defender, a guy who's roving, a guy who's blocking, a guy who's stealing, a guy who's rebounding. And he's doing that now. I think that he's kind of graduated into, well, Scott, you want to put the fro back out? You can go ahead and be Ben Wallace again, bud, because you're making huge blocks once again at the end of the game. In fact, your stats right now on clutch blocks at the end of the game are insane. Like Scotty has the most blocks in the last 5 minutes of the game out of anybody in the league right now. And that's something. That's a signature thing. That's kind of like a new thing. That's very Bill Russell. It's very Bill Russell. I mean, you block Chet. Chet's a freaking Slender Man giant. With his arms are up here, shooting up here. How the fuck did you block him? Seriously, how'd you do that, Scott? That's amazing. I love that. I was like, man, Chet's getting all these easy little dump in baskets. Like they're lobbing it. He just doesn't even have to jump. He's just like, throws it in. It's not like he's an athlete. It's like not like this guy's that super talented. He's just a super tall, skinny guy. And a lot of his baskets he made, there were a couple of shots he made that were skilled, but most of this shit he did was like so kind of like, okay, I'm not impressed. Like, what is this shit? And I was like, dude, that dude's a fraud. I'm sorry, man. Chet Holmgren's a fraud as an NBA player. I'm going to say this over and over again. And like Scotty blocking him at the end of the game shows that. The dude's a fraud, man. I'm sorry. But, man, I love Lou Getz. I love SGA. And a lot of things about Oklahoma City are just awesome. Sure. Yeah, what an amazing game. Really, really fun. And what I was saying yesterday on the stream, that if the Raptors found a way to beat the Thunder, they start getting noticed and getting a little bit more attention around the league. Yeah, you can go to look at the highlights of the game on NBA.com, and the comments are very interesting. There's a lot of people in there coming in saying, I'm not a fan of the Raptors. I don't know. I don't really watch them, but they're good. There's a lot of people saying that this morning as their eyes are opened up to the fact that it's like, what is this team from Canada doing? They just beat SGA and them. Like, wait, whoa, wait a second. The Raptors beat the Thunder last night? No way. No, they're for real, bro. If they did that, they're for real, bro. There's a lot of like NBA fans in the United States saying stuff like that right now today. That's what I wanted. You need this spotlight, Scott. They need to see you block Chet. They need to see you do that. They need to see us get that 2-point lead win over Oklahoma City. Yeah, it's amazing, man. Amazing. Yeah, I love how quickly he's sassy with Grange. He should be. Grange, you want to write your articles and write your narratives and gaslight Raptors fans into hating Emmanuel when they should absolutely love him. Absolutely should love him. Y'all feel the love for Emmanuel Quickly? That's the right behavior. That feels right? When you were hating on him, that wasn't right, and you shouldn't have been doing that. You shouldn't have been doing that. In some ways, we've got to allow players that have the big balls to take big shots to fail. I have to say this over and over again. It's the percentage game. It's the NBA. You can't have a 40-point perfect game against the Warriors every night. There's going to be a level of imperfection, but will you take a certain amount of success and amazingness that adds up to getting W's more than not? That's the whole thing. There's a balance here, Raptors fans. And Emmanuel Quickly will never, ever be perfect, but he's a winning player, and he's the kind of player you want on your team, right? I think we've seen this. I've been seeing on Raptors Reddit this morning a lot more comments saying, I think we're good, guys. We don't need a trade. Imagine all of a sudden people start seeing it the way the Raptor freaks have been seeing it for a few weeks now. All of a sudden, casual Raptors Nation is saying, no, man, I think this team's good. We just beat Oklahoma City. Thanks for catching up. Thanks for catching up and finally figuring it out like we did a month ago. I mean, seriously, man. Trevor's saying this. Rising Stars player pool announcement today at 6:30 p.m. on Peacock. I hope to see Colin Murray-Boyles get on it. Yeah, they're going to announce the Rising Stars today. Well, we should – I want to have two guys. We should have one guy on each team. We should have Colin on the rookie team, and Jamal Shed needs to be going to this game too as a second-year player. Y'all slept on him last year. Y'all disregarded him in all rookie votes last year. Well, make it up, NBA, and send Jamal Shed to the Rising Stars game at All-Star Weekend in LA, this All-Star. Seriously. You know, you did that for Grady. You gave Grady the second-year trip there. You know, Colin deserves it. You know, Colin is one of the top 10 rookies in his rookie class. So that man is there for sure. Listen, if Murray-Boyles isn't on there, there's a problem. I'm trying to promote for Jamal Shed at this point. Seriously. All right, we got the infamous 6. Hang on. Let's see what he's saying this morning. Should I give you a beat? Should I give you a beat?
I don't got one today, though.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good morning, infamous.
Good morning, Lex. How you doing today?
Man, I'm fantastic. I think that most Raptors fans are feeling pretty dang good this morning. I would hope.
Hey, salute to the ref report, man. I'm telling you, ref report's undefeated.
Carl Lane's a good man, and we saw that in some of the challenge stuff last night. And Bernecki was okay, and Jenna was on her best behavior to the most part. There was a little bit of weirdness there with Jenna Schroeder for a second, but for the most part, the possession errors. There was a little period where in the middle of the game, it was kind of around the third quarter, where the refs were giving all the 50-50 calls and 50-50 possessions to the Thunder. But it wasn't a huge deal, and it wasn't like a total hit job. It was more like their home team, and they are the champs, so let's give them a little bit more whistle calls kind of feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lex? This is the Raptor fans got to pay attention to this. This is the definition of a signature win. This is the definition of a signature win, and I'll explain why. The reason why this is a signature win is because, remember, this is the last leg of a road trip. Usually the last game of a road trip is usually when the team gets let down or they don't play their best. The last leg.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a signature win on the road against the NBA champs without a full lineup. Now I understand that the OKC did not have their full lineup as well.
Yeah.
But even without their full lineup, they should have taken care of business.
For
still,
sure.
right?
Sure.
But you know what kept us in the game? We were like pit bulls. You know when a pit bull bites you and you try to shake him and he just won't let go? I noticed that during the whole game, they tried to shake us, but we would not let go because they would go up by 2. Then we would catch up. We would tie the game. They would go up again, and then we would tie the game again. So we had that dog, and you emphasize it perfectly with your introduction, that dog balls mentality to not let go of that bone.
Yeah.
We just kept holding on to the end. And that's what, if you put us in a position to win in the end, more than likely we closed out these games, because you remember in the past, these are games that we would usually lose.
Of course.
Yeah.
As a young team, a team that is a younger core, this is normal that a team doesn't really know what to do to handle themselves against an older veteran team of accomplishment like the Thunder in those situations. And that's why I'm saying, like, this is crazy, because in some ways we should have done that. In some ways they should have taken care of business as the champion and closing the game out. That's why I was like seeing SGA stunned after the game saying, I mean, we were under control. I don't understand what happened. Well, Scotty was a difference. Emmanuel was a difference. And the coach gave a lot of credit to Darko. I mean, that's another thing. It's like this was a bit of a coach's battle with adjustments. And the fact that the lead changes and the flipping back and forth throughout the whole game, I loved it, because it's like it's an entertaining game. And to me, at first at the beginning of the game was like, wow, we're competing with the champs. We're good, because I just want to see how we are. And then my expectations for the game got better and better as the game went on. I was like, this is the kind of game where the Raptors can snatch this and win this at the end. And
right. You know what's our next big test? Our next big test, I want to see us against Detroit.
Yeah.
That's our next one.
Well,
I definitely want to see us against
Detroit. We need to get our first win against the Knicks on Wednesday. This is the next big test.
Payback.
Yeah. And also the whole, this road trip has gone way better than I expected. In some ways, I was like, if we get 3 of the wins on this road trip, I'll be happy. But we ended up 4-1 on this 5-game road trip, with the one blemish being the Laker game. And if we think about how we started this road trip with the overtime loss to James Harden and the Clippers on the last home game, and then losing the Lakers coming to LA, I kind of had a bad feeling about the West Coast road trip, but they got it real right against Golden State, and they've been carrying that through 4 games of victory since. So, yeah.
Did you notice what Darko said in his press conference? I picked up on it. He said, to paraphrase, that when the players know that they're basically, when they know they're going to get the ball when they're open, they play better. And that's such a key element that people need to pick up on. What he's basically saying is that we play as a team.
Yeah.
If guys are open, you're not going to have guys on the team that freeze other players out. You'll have, if you watch other teams, you notice that certain guys will get the ball and they'll freeze out certain players. Like, oh, I'm a superstar. I got to take the shot. Or I got to take it.
Yeah.
No, Darko is saying, listen, we trust our players and we trust our guys. No matter if it's a bench player or a starter.
This is one of the most amazing lessons. In some ways, this is once again basketball being a metaphor for life. And basically, we can have 2 different ways we look at basketball. You can look at it as a scarcity mindset, where it's like, oh, there's only a certain amount of touches, there's a certain amount of minutes, a certain amount of plays called. And that's where you get in that mindset you're talking about, where guys get selfish and they start wanting to freeze each other out because they get told that there's only a certain amount of pieces of pie. Now apply this to society. This is the whole farce and the myth of capitalism and scarcity, is because look, Darko's system proves abundance works, because when everybody knows they have a chance to feed, to get their shots, to play. There's no selfishness. They get it all around. And then you got guys, you got like 4 or 5 guys with 5 assists on your team at the end of the game, and your assist total's high, and people are shooting better, and nobody's selfish, and they know they're going to get the ball back. That's a big, huge tenement to the success of Darko's offensive passing system, is that in some ways it washes out a lot of natural selfishness that happens on an NBA team because of the phenomenon you're saying. It's like, well, I'll give it up because I know the way this ball moves in his offense, it's going to come back to me.
It's going to come back to me.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback off that, do you notice this? I know you picked up on this. Do you notice that almost every player during their post-game interview, they give credit to the coaching staff and having them prepared? And that also tells me a lot about the coaching.
Yeah.
And tells me a lot about the team, that these guys are listening. Jacoby said he knew that he was coming back for this game
last night.
He decided to watch film.
Yeah.
So they're prepared going into these games.
I was going to mention this actually.
Guys prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because, like, all right, first of all, Jacoby Walter was recognized last night by Darko as one of those guys on the team, like Scotty and Colin and Oshai and Jamal Shed, that wants the tough defensive assignments, that wants to go and take like one of the hardest guys to guard. And we have a few of these guys, and they've got different looks. And it's very useful to have an Oshai and a Jacoby and a Jamal, a Colin and a Scotty. You know, Scotty wants to guard Chet at times. He's guarding Chet, but he's also taking SGA at times also. And, you know, Jacoby, with his hip pointer being out for a while, it sounded like, you know, the coaching staff, like you're saying, are so well organized that like 4 days ago or something like that, they told Jacoby, we're targeting you to come back for Oklahoma City. And what does Jacoby do? He's the good student. He dresses like a college student sometimes. So he's coming to the game with his books and his glasses. And I'm like, all right, he's going to get studious. He's going to go the Anunoby way. And he's going to dive deep into his defensive matchup with SGA. He's going to look at all his tendencies. He's going to do his homework. And he's going to be prepared. And because he's not seeing himself in the Portland game, he's not seeing himself in the Sacramento game, he can just tunnel focus on just SGA for Sunday in like 4 days of prep before even all that. I mean, in some ways, that's really brilliant because it showed on the court when Walter was, you know, they didn't completely stop Shea, but in the first half, they did a damn good job. They were, and I was watching the Oklahoma City feed, and Michael Cage and the play-by-play were saying, like, the Raptors are swarming SGA. Every time he gets the ball, there's like 4 black jerseys around him. And
did you notice what he said too in his press conference, Jacoby? Jacoby basically outlined all his tendencies, all the tendencies that Shea did.
He likes to go left.
Here's another thing that we almost broke his record, just like how we broke LeBron's record. We almost came close to breaking Shea's record as well, as keeping him under 20. He had 24, I believe. So, and this is my last point, and I'll head out.
Okay.
The Raptors are 18-7 with RJ in the lineup. That's all I gotta say.
That's big time right there.
All you RJ haters.
That is big time right there. Yeah. I mean, listen, SGA, the first half, we did amazing on him. The second half, he got a little bit more going in the third, and he's going to get his to a certain extent. He's just like that. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about RJ, Brandon, and Scotty all having subpar scoring outputs, and it's still enough because of the defensive work that the Raptors do and the low score that the game was, because this could have been a higher scoring game for sure. There were definitely points in the game where it slowed down and was a slog and it was very defensive, but that worked out in a lot of ways because, like, Brandon, he didn't get 20 points. Scotty didn't get 20 points. RJ didn't get 20 points, but we still carried enough and put enough on there to get over them. All right, Infamous, I appreciate your call today. Yeah.
I appreciate you, Lex. And you have yourself a beautiful day.
Call anytime, please. And let's go Raptors.
Let's go Raptors.
That's right. Yes, the infamous 6. Yeah, I love it, man. All right, you know, on this note, let's go into the stars of the game. I'm going to go ahead and go over the box score with you guys a little bit right now. Manuel got the chain for the 3rd time this month in this game last night. Quickly in 32 minutes, 23 points on 50% shooting, 7 of 14. So suck on that, Emmanuel haters, telling me he's missing shots too much and all this other bullshit and his shot selection. One of the things Darko said about Emmanuel last night is the game's slowing down for him and he's taking his time and he's having more confidence and he's finding his spots. And you can see that in his work around the lane with the teardrops and a lot of the layups he's making. He's just in a really nice groove right now. And in some ways, it's a symbiotic relationship with his teammates that is allowing him to have this stuff going on with him because there's a lot of confidence and trust that's going on between Emmanuel Quickley and his teammates that's allowing him to do this stuff. And we're seeing the thing that I really love about the developments with Emmanuel recently is that he's putting that gas on to get to spots in the paint by using his speed to get around his defender. And that is causing all kinds of trouble once again for the other teams. They already worry about Brandon. They already worry about Scotty. But when IQ is blasting by his opponent and getting paint touches, that's a whole other level of misery and pain and worry for opposing coaches and their defenses. Quickly, 6 of 10 from 3. Come on now, y'all. 60% from 3. We've got to respect this man and stop. In some ways, you know what? I'm going to say this. Yeah, Fred, he didn't shoot this well. Seriously, a lot of times, some of these guys before in this position that Emmanuel's in, I've said the lineage is all the way back to Alvin Williams of a combo guard, kind of point guard that's going to be looked at to score somewhere, like Kyle Lowry, like Fred VanVleet, you know? In some ways, like, look, Emmanuel's really efficient. And in some ways, we got to allow him some ability to fail is all I'm asking Raptors fans, because he'll be successful way more percentage of the time. Watch. 3 of 4 at the free throw line. And this is the other thing Emmanuel did, why he's so crazy good. Darko gave him the assignment before the game that, you know, we need to gang rebound. It's Chet Holmgren. It's the Thunder. It's the best team in the league. And if we're going to have any chance to beat them, we're going to need everybody hitting the boards. So what does the point guard do? He goes out there and fat levers 11 rebounds for us. 10 of them defensive rebounds. That's not even in his job description, y'all. Most of the guards in this league are not trying to go get a double-double in rebounds. And that's what Emmanuel did last night. 23 points, 11 rebounds. So respect this guy's working his butt off. Not only is he hitting these clutch shots, he's carrying on the boards for us. Seriously, respect this man. 2 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a +2 for Emmanuel Quickley. Number 1 star of the game, chain holder. Scotty Barnes is my 2nd star, and this is one of the lowest scoring point games that I've ever given a star to Scotty for this because he deserves it. Who cares if he only scored 10 points last night? In some ways, you cannot deny how much Scotty Barnes contributed to the Raptors winning the game last night. Casuals may look at Scotty's score and only care about scoring and say, Scotty was so bad last night. He only got 10. You're a loser. You don't understand basketball. And in some ways, you shouldn't be able to write about basketball in any social media comments anywhere, because you should have that revoked. If you think Scotty Barnes had a piss poor game last night because he had 10 points, you idiot. That's what I say to these people. 3 of 8. Yeah, that's horrible shooting. 0 for 2 from 3. Oh my gosh, Scotty was so bad. But he made 4 out of 4 at the free throw line when a lot of people were missing free throws last night. And that was pissing me off. That's amazing that the Raptors could miss so many free throws last night and still beat the Thunder by 2. That's amazing. Scotty, 11 rebounds himself. Him and Emmanuel both got 11 rebounds. So Scotty got a double-double, very close to a triple-double with 8 assists and 2 turnovers and 1 steal and 3 blocks. So he gets 4 stocks, including 3 blocks and a very crucial block at the end. And then to boot, Scotty grabs the offensive rebound off the second missed free throw by Jamal Shed at the end of the game, which in some ways was grabbing the game to win it because he gave it to Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley gets fouled, and he's going to hit those free throws. And Shed, there you go. There's another example. Shed's a young player. He's still got to be tested. He's got to go through the fire, so that he will stand at that charity stripe and hit 2 free throws when the game is on the line and put it out of the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder by putting in a 2 possession game with a 4-point lead. But no, Shed missed both of them. So I'm telling y'all who got up there and calmly made it. I'm not dissing Shed. I love Shed. He's a keeper. He's a fantastic point guard, and he has a bright future on our team. But the way people were like pumping up Shed and putting down Emmanuel for so long, I wanted to tell y'all there is a reason why Emmanuel quickly is the starter and Shed is off the bench. And those free throws at the end of the game can show you that. Who calmly put them through and got us the 4-point lead to give us the cushion, the 2-possession cushion in the dangerous environment of the Oklahoma City arena, with them getting an extra shot to win it at the end. No, we absolutely needed Scotty to get that offensive rebound off of that missed free throw and get it to Emmanuel to get fouled and me making those 2 free throws. So, yeah, Scotty, you're amazing. The highest plus-minus on our team last night, a +15. You're a winning king now. You are a team leader to W, Scotty. Big W's in the chat forever. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family, 2022. That's right. 3rd star of the game is RJ Barrett. I'm giving RJ a little bit of shine because, and listen, he's in some ways kind of on a minutes restriction right now. I can tell because 2 games back, he's only played 21 minutes, but he's still finding production in his time out there. And he's such a very thing to worry about along with Brandon and IQ and Scotty, that he just is something that just makes us good. And like Infamous said, our record with RJ this year is an absolute factoid that can be pointed to the importance of why he's important to this team. Just saying, RJ, 21 minutes, 14 points. Yeah, it's like a half-ass game for him. 14 points. And I'm going to give him a star of the game. 6 of 12 from the field, 50% for him also. 2 of 3 from 3. He made a couple of threes. Fantastic. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, a +2 for Rowan Barrett Jr. It's just nice to have him back out there running. You notice he didn't really play in the crunch time. That Darko, then this is something we were worried about at the beginning of the season, that he's only going to play his starters at the end of the game and not switch people in and out according to who's playing well or not. Well, Jacoby got that time at the end of the game because he was doing such a good job with SGA. And also, in some ways, RJ, I think that RJ at the end of the game was if somebody fouls out, like Scotty, who pretty much almost fouled out, right? You got to bring RJ in to replace him as just a backup, just in case. Yeah, Rowan didn't play at the end of the game, did he? No, he didn't. But he was very important and crucial in helping the team throughout the game in spirit and quality control and all kinds of stuff. I love that one play, and not that I'm trying to see SGA get hurt, but I love that fight that RJ had when he was going around him, going down the lane, and he hit him in the shoulder, in the chest. And SGA was feeling that afterwards. RJ doing the little hook. Yeah, that was interesting. My 4th star of the game is Grady, guys. I got to give Grady a lot of credit, man. I got to give Grady a lot of credit. He looked like he fit. He looked like he was playing the level of basketball that we need him to play. He looked like he was cohesive with the team. He looked like it was just making more sense. He was helpful. He didn't look overly embarrassing, because in some ways, Grady, some of the stuff is making me mad about you this season is you're embarrassing us, whether it's a turnover or a missed open 3. Those are embarrassing. And, I get it. Sometimes these passes these guys throw you are really hard to catch on transition, and they go out of bounds. But, man, you did a good job last night. I'm really impressed with you. You play within yourself and play within the team system. You will find success. And there's a lot of talent in you that I need to recognize once again. It's just I haven't seen a lot this year. There's a lot of offensive skill in you that we want to see more of and get unleashed. In some ways, what's happened with Emmanuel recently, with the floor being wide open and him being able to maneuver and do so much, and it just feels like it's so good. I want to see that for you, because I know that you're not just a 3-point shooter. You're a scorer. And there's a lot of different stuff you can do with turnarounds and cuts and driving to the lane that we could see more often. You have a skilled reverse layup here. You have a very thunderous quick dunk with traffic all around you. There's a lot of skill there. And there's still a lot of time for you to get the ship righted and show a consistent level of contribution for the Raptors in a winning way. And I like that. Grady Dick, 21 minutes, 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3. Fantastic. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover of -3. I just want to recognize Grady because you know what? There's been times this year where I didn't even know if you fit in the NBA anymore, regardless on the Raptors. Seriously. My 5th star of the game and final star of the game for the win last night is Jacoby. Jacoby didn't score a whole lot, but his work on SGA needs to be commended. And, the fact that he came back in his first game back from being out for a few games and he had that assignment is really impressive. Like, seriously, it's like throw him in the deep end, Darko. Why don't you? The man's just been sitting out with a hip pointer. And you're going to bring him right out and say, hi, this is SGA, Jacoby. Go ahead and get him. No, Jacoby is not backing down from that. He's a nerd in basketball school. He did his studying. And he's ready to take the test because he prepared himself for it. And that's awesome. I mean, it was a big key to keeping up with the Thunder was really the work we did on SGA. And like Infamous said, the players give a lot of credit to the game planning by the Raptors coaches. And Emmanuel went down the list, naming them PD and Coco and Jama and Evo and Mike and all them did all so much to help prepare the team. No dead weight on our coaches' staff. Those coaches are all doing something to help the Raptors do what they're doing. I'll tell you right now. We'll go down and say honorable mention to Brandon Ingram. It's just not the level of production that warrants a star for a BI in my book. I mean, I want to give a lot of credit to Luguetz Dort. They really did he did a good job. You notice that they were mirroring his minutes with Ingram, and that Luguetz, it's kind of an unorthodox person to guard Brandon. But I've seen this before, like with both Luguetz and Dylan Brooks on Team Canada, because sometimes Team Canada has a size disadvantage where the other team's a lot bigger, especially against some of the European teams that have very big front lines. Well, how does Canada survive when Kelly Olynyk is like their only center, right? Well, Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort are extremely strong, and they use a lot of pushing and like holding people at the low center of gravity to put them off their base. So one of the things Luguetz was doing to Brandon last night was he's very good at subtle pushes that push the shooter off balance at the worst possible time. And so Brandon shoots 5 for 18. Well, you can blame Dort to a degree because there's a little bit of a nudge. And he's strong enough to just kind of push him to the side just a little bit, and that makes the shot go off target just slightly. I'm telling you right now, 13 points for Ingram. He missed all 3 of his threes. They were tying him up good. As much as we were putting a lot of tension on Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder were putting a lot of tension on Ingram, and they really did try to take him away from us. 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 2 blocks for Brandon Ingram. I'm loving this trend of Brandon getting blocks. I mean, it makes sense. He's got these long arms and he's out there, and the Raptors have a defensive mentality. Well, seeing Brandon Ingram collecting more and more blocks this year, it's fantastic. Sandro had a little bit of a tough shooting night, but he was pretty good. I thought that he was out there being active and doing the things that Sandro does. There was that special moment where he carried a child to safety. That was pretty cute. Yeah, a 235-pound child named Luguetz Dort got carried across the court. Now, that to me proved what I've been saying all season. Some people have been trying to tell me that Sandro Mamukelashvili is not a true center. And I say, no, he's very strong. He is strong enough to be a true center. And I hope you seeing him carry Dort around on his shoulder like he's a parrot, like he's a pirate. Yar, I'm a pirate. And this is my parrot, Luguetz. Arr, say something, Luguetz. Bonjour, bonjour. I mean, seriously, that was crazy Steven Adams shit. You don't see that, y'all? Like, that was insane. Like, he didn't just, like, to carry a grown man, an NBA player-sized man on your shoulder and walk paces across the floor, that is like Seinfeld's Lloyd Bridges test of strength. I'm gonna pick up this TV. Oh, don't do it. You'll hurt your back, Dad. No, I'm gonna do it. That's that kind of crazy shit. Test feats of strength. And the crazy thing is that kind of shit could get your back fucked up, just like Jacoby Jakob Poeltl, right? That could get your back fucked up. But Sandro is like, no sweat. Seriously, I'm going to go to the Instagram stories real quick. This is hilarious what's on here. Seriously. First of all, we got the TSN crew. We had Sam Mitchell back in the studio with Leo and Kate last night. Always fun to see Sam Mitchell. As long as he's on his best behavior and he knows which side of the border he's on when he's talking basketball. That's all I got to say. And Leo keeps showing the snowed out patio on there. RJ Barrett with the score from last night, celebrating the win. We got CJ Miles posting the announcement from the NBA Players Association about the killing of Alex Preddy by ICE, the murder. And this is what they're saying. This is what the Players Association, led by Fred VanVleet, is saying. Following the news of yet another fatal shooting in Minneapolis, a city that has been on the forefront of the fight against injustices, NBA players can no longer remain silent. Now more than ever, we must defend the right to freedom of speech and stand in solidarity with the people in Minnesota protesting and risking their lives to demand justice. The fraternity of NBA players, like the United States itself, is a community enriched by its global citizens, and we refuse to let the flames of division threaten the civil liberties that are meant to protect us all. The NBA Players Association and its members extend our deepest condolences to the families of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, just as our thoughts remain focused on the safety and well-being of all members of our community. Yeah, there's no two sides to this. There's just the side of humanity and justice and right, and then the side of despicable cowards named ICE and MAGA and their bullshit. And I love to see CJ Miles, as a former player of the NBA, posting this from the NBA Players Association, and Fred posted it too. That's right. Of course he did. Shed's got the poses in the back, lots of posing, lots of calling five. That's right. Call five. That's right. All them back there. We see Oshai with the big wave, and it's just fun stuff. Seeing the post-game team victory photos are hilarious, and it's kind of fun to see the different expressions on the court. James Wade is posting that Scotty is the defensive player of the year. He's got the Chet Holmgren block right there. Just really fantastic. I mean, that was a huge gameplay at a very crucial time. Very, very crucial time. Jamison Bowles got the score, and also saying that Scotty's clutch plays secure the Raptors win. A lot of people are saying defensive player of the year on here. Grady's got the team photo. Thank you, Grady. Just showing your teammates for once. And he's also got a Scotty highlight when Scotty blocked Chet Holmgren. So he's putting Scotty's highlight on blast. That's right, Grady. It's not just about yourself. And then he has his highlight from him taking it to the rim also, which is great. I love all that. Scotty Barnes with his clutch play at the end, blocking Chet. Let's go. That's right. He likes Chet. I know. I remember Scotty talking about Chet, and I was making fun of Chet in his Twitch stream one day. He's like, Raptor Street, why are you making fun of my guy Chet? I like Chet. I think it's partly because they are in the same representation group. Like they have the same agent. I think it's Duffy, right? And so he's like kind of feels like he's a brethren to him just because they have the same agency. I think that's what he told us on Twitch, I think. Let's see. Jacoby's got the score, which is awesome. And he's got one of his highlights where he dunked it in transition. Really, really good dunk. And then he's saying that he's like that. Scotty, lock. That's right. So good. Sandro Mamu with the team photo on his Instagram. And then Scotty, he's calling Scotty Defensive Player of the Year on his block. And there's the score. And then he's got the highlight of him carrying Lou Getz, which is kind of crazy move. But he just lands up on his shoulder and he just sits there. And then he walks like a bunch with him, carrying him. And this is what Mamu said, 225 pounds ain't nothing. It's like this, he can carry, go ahead, let's get a 250 pounder up there next time. And Sandro will carry him too. It's literally like Emmanuel quickly carried the team and Scotty carried the team at the end of the game, and Sandro carried Luget's Dort. It's so goofy. Jonathan Mobo is calling Scotty a dog for his Chet Holmgren block. Matt Devlin, Kayla Gray, and Jack Armstrong, the broadcast crew at the sidelines last night, looking dapper and happy. and getting the call. Such a fantastic, classic Raptors victory over a defending champion Oklahoma City Thunders. It's awesome. And Matt Devlin's got the block by Scotty. Just really, really good stuff. And then the clutch IQ shots in that same spot over in that corner in front of the Raptors coaches. Woo-wee, Emmanuel Quickly. Woo-wee, Emmanuel Quickly. That's right. Then he's getting the chain. Darko's not coming at him with fists back like this. He's just coming nice and calmly and giving him the chain. That's pretty good. I love that. Colin Murray-Boyles putting Scotty on blast and calling him the defensive player of the year. So Murray-Boyles recognizes that also. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, that's pretty much the Instagram stuff. Oh, Pascal's got a new Sunday banger out, which is cool. Check out Siakam's Sunday banger. He did an interview with Lindsey Dunn recently, and Lindsey was asking him about the Sunday bangers and like how joyous they are. And he's like, oh, yeah, I should do those again. So he brought one back yesterday. He hadn't done them in a little bit. So it's good to see the return of the Pascal Siakam Sunday banger. If you're following him on Instagram, you can see what I'm talking about. There's Fred's release of the Players Association statement I read just a little bit ago. Let's see. Is that it? That's pretty much it. Yeah, Serge Ibaka is still walking around in some crazy fur over in a fashion week somewhere. It's probably in Paris or something like that, or Italy, something like that. There's the Instagram stories. Checking in on our Raptors and what they do in their off time. Yeah, Sandro Mamu was 32 minutes, 10 points, 3 of 8, missed both his threes, 4 of 8 at the free throw line. He was really pissing me off at the free throw line. Like, those free throws were bad. And, man, I'm so glad we won because we really did lose some points at the free throw line last night with all those misses. And it's weird because a lot of the games on this road trip, we've been perfect at the free throw line almost. Like 90, 95% from the free throw line. In fact, we were 100% in one of these games. I think it was the Golden State game where we didn't miss a single free throw. And then last night, the team kind of shat the bed on free throws and went 65% and missed 9 free throws last night. Alas, we won by 2. So we could calculate that. Well, we could have won by 11, guys. We could have won by 11 if y'all just made your free throws. Yeah. Off the bench, Ochai Agbaji, 15 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 2, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, up -7. Agbaji's just another one of these guys that is very useful. And like, he's another look, like we said, that you throw at Gilgeous-Alexander and try and slow him down. And it's interesting, the Raptors only used a 9-man rotation last night. So it's like, Darko's been pretty steadily a 10-man rotation this year, but against a high-level talent like the champion Thunder, he cut the rotation down to 9 last night, which is very, very interesting to me. Jamal Shed off the bench as the backup point guard, 24 minutes, 9 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Missed both his free throws at the very end of the game, which was ugly. That's why I can't give you no star. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, +1. Yeah, fantastic. And that's the guys who played for the Raptors yesterday. We'll look on the other side. Gilgeous-Alexander ended up with 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting. We really did limit him. We were just trying to deny him the ball, deny everything around him in any kind of way. And, well, at a certain point, he got loose a little bit in the third quarter and got made up some of the points. But as Emmanuel said after the game, holding SGA to under 30 is an accomplishment. I mean, this man, what did he do against Indiana on Friday in their win against them? He got like 45 points in the loss to the Pacers on Friday night. I think SGA's just cheesed that he's lost 2 games in a row again. And that it's like he doesn't like that. That's why he left the court in such a sour mood, like because he left right away at the end of the game. It was interesting. Lou Getz was absolutely fire last night. In fact, he was annoying. But I was also saying, like, you know, if we're going to get beat, Lou from 3 is the way to get beat because in some ways that's not a winning way that's very consistent for the Thunder. Because honestly, a big factor in helped us win this game last night was leaving them alone on the 3-point line. The Thunder, in some ways, are not a good 3-point shooting team. If Isaiah Joe and Wiggins are dialed in and they're making their shot, if it's SGA making the threes, if there's certain people making threes, they're good. But they didn't shoot well from 3 last night as a team. 26% for the Thunder, And that was a huge key because I was seeing these bigger dudes like Kendrick Williams and them trying to shoot these threes and they're bricking them left and right. I'm like, oh, let them shoot threes. Let them shoot threes all day. That'll be a winning strategy for the Raptors right there. These dudes are, don't let SGA do nothing, but let them shoot threes. That's for sure. But Lugetz was one of the guys who actually was hitting those threes for them with 19 points in 36 minutes, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8 from three, with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a turnover, and 2 steals, a +3 for Lugetz. Yeah, we can check on our Canadian guys on the other side. And they were both very good, the two high scores for the Thunder. Yeah, let me keep going on the chat in the comments. I know I got a lot to go here. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good morning, Shaq Lindsay. Thank you for being a member of this channel and supporting my show. This was a great team win led by your number one hater, IQ. I will continue to lead this charge against all you haters. IQ is one of the most talented guards at his position. His speed and his range at his position makes him elite. Players like him are in high demand, cannot be replaced. Masai saw the vision. Trust in Masai. Before the season started, RJ put those haters to bed with his performance. Now IQ is doing the same. I just can't wait for Yak to come back, but maybe we are just better off to have him sit until the playoffs. This is where Bobby can come in and just get a backup big to hold us over until the playoffs. Yeah, I like everything Shaq Lindsay's saying here. Once again, Emmanuel Quickly, haters, apologize. Apologize and abolish ICE. I see these two things need to happen in this world right now. Is haters of Emmanuel Quickly need to apologize, and they need to abolish ICE in the United States right now. That's right. These are two very important things. One of them way more important, but still, they're both important. I agree with this. I love this. I love what Shaq Lindsay's saying. In some ways, the evidence is stacking up, and y'all were wrong about Emmanuel Quickly if you were negative about him. Y'all were wrong, and you need to amend your opinion, and you need to go with what we're doing. It's just like he said, Bobby and Masai aren't trying to make mistakes. When they make moves like the Anunoby trade, they knew that was a huge move. And they really looked at it from all angles, and they really thought about it. They looked at the psychology of Barrett and Quickly. They looked at the fit. They looked at the idea. They looked at the whole thing. They really did their homework, just like Jacoby for SGA. They did their homework. They did their homework on Brandon. They did their homework on all the draft picks with his Shed, Colin Murray-Boyles. Why do people not trust our front office? Why do people that are in Raptors Nation want to trade or do all this stuff when we get things right the first time? That's the legacy of Ujiri, is that he didn't fuck around and mess up on decisions. What did he say on his way out? Like one of the interviews he had in the last year when he was in charge of our team, he said, oh, blame me for a couple of mistakes. He said he had like 3 mistakes this whole entire time he was the GM or the president of the Raptors. 3 mistakes. What was it? Bruno, Christian, and Malachi. Those are my 3 mistakes that I made. And I mean, I don't even think that those guys were totally mistakes. I mean, the Bruno, that was a situation. How can you be a mistake with Koloko, my guy? That's not your fault. He got blood clots and taken away from us. So I'm like, Masai, go easy, man, on yourself. Maybe Malachi counts. Yeah. But those other ones, I mean, that's the thing, man. These guys are not messing around because we know on our team, because we're the Canadian team, that we're restricted in certain ways. So everything that we can do to make our team good, we have to do absolutely perfect. And Raptors fans need to realize that. Other teams have a lot more leeway for error. The Knicks, the Lakers, they have all kinds of leeway for error because they could have different things come to them easily in different ways. The Raptors don't have that. So every single decision we make as a front office, whether it's a draft pick, whether it's a trade, whether it's a free agency signing, there's a lot of intricate detail and thought put into each move. And they don't want to mess up. They don't want to, because if they mess up, it could really screw us up and put us in a bad place. We can't mess up by taking a contract like Ben Simmons and have him sit out for like 2 years, just collecting $40 million for us. We can't mess up like that. We can't take problem players back in trades because we don't want these problem players. We can see opportunities with a backup point guard in Emmanuel Quickly in New York, not getting all the opportunities he could behind Jalen Brunson. We could see the potential of a former All-Star in New Orleans if he's given a better chance and coming into a new environment, that he could have a next part of his career where he flourishes once again. These are educated assessments and executions of getting these things done by our amazing front office over most of the last 12 years between Ujiri and Webster as a partnership. And to think of people thinking that Bobby Webster is all that different than Bobby Webster with Masai Ujiri, you're mistaken. The thing is that a lot of it through the whole time when Webster and Ujiri worked together, Webster was doing a lot of the decisions with Masai. And a lot of the time, the GM work with Bobby Webster's GM with Masai around still was Webster coming with stuff to Masai and then Masai giving his final stamp of approval. So I don't understand why everybody thinks the Raptors are going to be such a drastic change in their front office and how they operate, just that because Masai's gone. This Bobby Webster is the same man who's been running this team for 12 years. And the trade deadline this year should look like the trade deadline last year and the years before that in the last 12 years. So everybody expecting Bobby to like delineate himself from Masai's shadow by making a huge splash. Keep holding your breath. Because this is the thing. Once again, Webster and Ujiri were such a good team, like Lennon McCarthy, as far as making music with the Beatles. These guys were a team, and it's more likely that Bobby Webster in the aftermath of Ujiri not being here is going to honor and hold up the traditions and the ideals and the strategies and the methodologies that the Raptors have used in their front office when they were together still. I don't see Bobby deviating from what's worked. That would be stupid. It's like, oh, Masai's gone all of a sudden. Let me just go crazy and do all kinds of weird shit that the Raptors have never done before just because it's me now. That's stupid. You do what has been working. And if there's things that him and Masai were doing together that's working, he's going to continue to do them now. You know, that was one of the reasons why I was such a huge advocate of Bobby Webster just taking over, not hiring a new person to be in the middle of it, because I knew there would be continuity of quality in the way we've run our team after Masai being gone if Bobby was the person in charge. And that's the thing that Raptors fans need to realize about this trade deadline when nothing happens, when you don't see a single dang move happen, maybe not even a backup center move to help us out with that. You don't see nothing happen. Well, that's the way they've always done it. So why are you surprised? Why are you surprised? Bobby Webster is the same man he was last year, working next to Masai Ujiri as he is this year without him next to him. I'm just saying. I mean, it's true. A lot of the work was done, the legwork, the calling other teams, the finagling with other teams and talking about what's possible. That was always Bobby. And Masai was quality control and overseeing everything and making sure the brand of the Raptors, the organization, the culture, everything's top notch and professional. And of course, Masai Ujiri is in the war room for draft days, and he is consulted on every single move. And he has to sign off and say, you know what? You've done it again, Bobby. You brought me something really good. This is fantastic. Let's do it. That's the way I always looked at their way they worked with each other, because he was the GM and he was the president. And those were the kind of job titles and job things that they did when they worked with each other. Yeah. Let me keep going in the chat. I love Shaq Lindsay standing for Emmanuel right here, man. Trevor J saying JB Bickerstaff is the head coach for the All-Star game for the Eastern team. I don't even know how they're going to do this. It's kind of stupid, man. Having 3 teams is so dumb. Like, who the fuck is the coach of the third team? You got to have the Western Conference coach who's going to be Dagnall, although I don't know if it's Dagnall because he coached it last year, right? Oklahoma City was the top team last year. So maybe it's the Spurs coach that's going to coach, Mitch Johnson. I don't even know who's going to be coaching these games. And why, with 3 teams, who the fuck is the third coach? How do you figure that out? Andrew Jones, maybe you bring him up and say the best coach in G League gets to coach the third team. No, they don't want G League involved in the All-Star. I like that whole 4-team tournament where the G League team could actually kind of win the All-Star game. I thought that was fun. But that was a disaster waiting to happen for Adam Silver. If the NBA G League All-Star team rises up and wins the All-Star 4-team tournament, it'd be kind of looking bad in some ways if you think about it. They didn't even need to let that possibility happen because they could have done that. And it would have been really like, wow, that's an indictment of how poorly the NBA players play in the All-Star game, that the G League All-Star team beat the other All-Star teams. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I still don't like this format, Adam Silver. Like 2 USA teams versus 1 world team. Okay, just go ahead and tell us that you're insecure as a country and you're fucking bullshit. That you have to game the system so that one of the 2 USA teams will probably beat them. I hope the world team kicks both of their asses and beats this thing completely and goes against the odds. Because in some ways, this whole idea that you have to have 2 USA All-Star teams and 1 world team is a farce. There is enough good talent globally, and the U.S. talent is, in some ways, they're equal. You should have it straight up world versus USA, 2 whole rosters from both sides. But no, maybe you'll have to give half of your all-star spots to Canadians on the world team. Oh, God forbid RJ Barrett's an all-star because there's 12 world all-stars instead of 8. Anyway, the All-Star game's going to suck this year. I can already tell because it has one of the stupidest formats I've ever seen. This is the worst one, honestly. There's been a couple of different formats in the last couple of years that have been. This one's the worst one. I'm telling you already. Shaq Lindsay saying this also. Dick is nice. I mean, he's performing quite well on the court. Okay, phrasing. I love seeing Dick getting into the hole. Okay. I mean, driving to the basket and hitting his shots. Okay, because he's a supporter of the channel. I'll allow these dick jokes, this low-hanging fruit of a joke that you're making here. Yeah, Grady was great last night, man. I want to see this trend continue. Keep going, Grady. That's right. I want to root for you. I want to write a Christmas song for you this year, maybe, if it makes sense, and sing the praises of you just like I did for Emmanuel this year. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying, did anyone notice this whole road trip for Raptors wearing the black and red? Yeah, we wore black a lot in the games on this road trip. You guys know about NBA Court Vision, Locker Vision, or whatever. It's a website where you can go and check which jersey color and which jersey they're wearing each night. Yeah, and they have the whole season set up. So you can actually plan and see. I've been doing this myself here because I have so many jerseys, right? Like, guys, I'm wearing 3 jerseys during the games now. Like, it's crazy. It's gotten to this point. When I do my workout, I do a workout for each of the players. My first workout is Grady, number 1. My second workout is Jonathan Mobo, number 2. Number 3 workout is Brandon Ingram. And I put the Brandon Ingram City Edition jersey that I got this season on, and I wear it. And then number 4 is Scotty. And then I put on the red chevron jersey that I have Scotty's, and I put that on, and that's on over the Brandon jersey, and then I do a number 5 for quickly. I'm doing Shed at 6 because 2 times 3 is 6 with his number 23, and then I do 7 for Jameson, 77. Number 8 is Garrett Temple. 1 plus 7 is 8. Number 9 is RJ. And when I do the RJ workout, I get my Barrett jersey. And then at that point, I have 3 Raptors jerseys on over my body. And I wear all 3 of the jerseys during the game at this point. I'm wearing a Barnes, Barrett, and Brandon jersey during the game now. It's crazy. Yeah, number 10 is Jakob usually, but when he's hurt, it's AJ Lawson because he's 0. And I've been doing the 11 workout as Darko in the front office to signify there's a 10-man rotation, plus 1 is 11, and that's the coach. And then 12 is Colin. And that's usually the last of my workouts. Now, if the 905 are playing also, I'll do 15 workouts, and I'll add the 13, 14, 15. And 13 is Oshai, 14 is Jacoby, and 15 is Elijah Martin. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's superstitious. OCD. Me doing my thing to help them win. Whatever I'm doing, it's working. I'll have to keep doing it. But, yeah, I'll look and see which jerseys that day. And if they're wearing the red jersey, I'll wear the red one on the outside, Scotty's. If they're wearing the city edition, I'll wear the Brandon jersey. And if they're wearing the black ones like they were last night, the RJ one's on the outside, even though it's the city edition from last year. So, yeah, there's a method to madness. And just like Superfan Nav shows up to the home games wearing the same jersey as the Raptors team, he knows because of NBA Locker Vision. So check out that website. If you don't know about it, look it up. And you can tell which jerseys they're wearing for each game ahead of time and plan. Not saying this. Sure love seeing those dick shots splash. All right, y'all are out of control here. There's no reason to do this, y'all. We've been very mature about Grady's name for like 3 years now. And all of a sudden you guys want to degenerate into this stuff. Nako's saying this, fantastic game from IQ. Scotty had the most important plays. Scotty was amazing, and I appreciate him so much. They got to keep going. And it's just winning ways, man. It's winning ways on the other side of the ball. And some people don't want that glory from that side to put in the work to do that. But they do. And Scotty's one of them. And that's why he's going to end up being one of the greats by the time he's done with his career. Watch. Yeah, Trevor's saying Jacoby calls Scotty and Quickly dogs. Yeah, they're dogs. I mean, Patrick Beverly, where the fuck are you right now? Oh, you're in Israel? You play basketball in Israel? That's where you are, Pat Beverly? Rough, little dog, Pat. What are you talking about dogs and pups in the Toronto Raptors and your bullshit when you're on the Sixers for Nick Nurse? Oh, I'm not worried about them. They don't have any dogs on their team. Man, you'll Quickly and RJ were laughing about that. Oh, we're just pups, huh? We're just little pups. Yeah. I'm talking about dog. Look at Scott blocking Chet. Tell me what dog is then. That's right. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Monday. This game was extremely competitive and tight. Amazing fire. Everyone contributed to the win. But whoa, Scotty. Yeah, MJ, fantastic game. In some ways, this is the kind of game that you could show Fiercey Jr. and say, this is how you win in basketball. You have to make defensive plays along with big shots. And there's some learning lessons in there for young basketball players. It's not all about dunks and threes and scoring. You can make a big, huge block on Chet Holmgren, and that matters a lot there too. You can get a rebound off of this free throw and, secure a win. You could do that kind of stuff. It's not all just about the offense and the way the NBA made it marketed in the 2010s with LeBron James and Kevin Durant and that generation, Steph Curry. They just really ignored the most important aspect of the game, which is rebounding and defense. And that's what Scotty is right there. That's right. That's what it is right there. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, sir. Fiercely saying, I love the impromptu marketing pitch from Matty D. What a big-time defensive player play. It was all over NBA content platforms. I'm hoping the media and other fan nations caught it for sure. For sure. This is the kind of game that will get a national spotlight on Scotty. The fact that our Orlando game later this week is going to be on national television in the United States. Instead of last year, they took away one of our national games because we were so bad. This year, we're so good, they're giving a game to us. That's fantastic. So when we play Orlando later this week, we need to kick their ass to show everybody on the U.S. side more about that we're real and that this is who we are now. Seriously, these games are important. The next couple of games, not just to continue the win streak, but we need to prove something against the Knicks on Wednesday when we play them. And then when we play the Magic, that national spotlight because of the TV is going to be very important for the case for Scotty for Defensive Player of the Year, or at least defensive first team, because honestly, he should be there at the very least, if not the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm totally with you on that. And that's fantastic work by Matt Devlin. He does this. He helped with Freddie All-Star, and boom, Fred's on the All-Star team. Our announcer can very much help our guys get accolades. And it's a very well-timed punch in of Defensive Player of the Year like that, Matt Devlin. Kudos to you. Thank you, voice of the Raptors, Matt Devlin, for standing for Scott and putting it out there like that in the NBA highlights. Because that is, in some ways, the way people ingest the NBA more and more is a highlight league, as Adam Silver says. So if Matt Devlin's voice can be on there, he can politic and help Scott. He can. He definitely can. Yeah, Medved Ted's back in the house. Good to see you, Medved Ted. It's been a little bit. I hope you've been very well and your life is good. SGA had only one field goal attempt in the fourth, and then after the game walked off the court, butt hurt. Didn't even congratulate the Raptors players. I saw him pal around a little bit with RJ on the way out. But in some ways, he's such a tough competitor. In some ways, he hates losing. And I love that about him. I don't get upset about guys that get mad and leave like that, especially when there are a guy like he is for our Team Canada. I won't get mad at him for that. That just shows how much he really cares. And he doesn't like losing. So yeah, I can't get mad at SGA for that. He's an ultimate competitor and he got beat and he was pissed. And well, he cares. If he didn't care, he was like, "Hey, I'm Vince Carter. I'm just gonna smile and laugh. I just got beat by 20. I don't care because I'm just in the NBA and I'm friends with everybody." I hate that kind of energy. I'd much rather have a pissed off SGA storming off the court than a smiling Vince Carter who's friends with everybody. "Oh, good to see you. Yeah, we just lost. I don't really care if the Raptors win or not because I'm just here in the NBA to be a dunker and to be this and that." Yeah, yeah. I'm dissing Vince on his birthday, y'all, just so y'all know. I am. I'm dissing him on his birthday. Stargate saying, Raptor Freak family, PSA, please, please stop parroting the nonsensical verbal bile you hear these novice online charlatans be spewing. We are Raptor Freak family and are free thinking, astute basketball heads. Well, it's good if we do parrot this to a degree. It's good that an example comes in here. If it's a bad example, sure, because then we can talk about it, we can clear it up and educate. And that's important sometimes. So some of the nonsensical prattle and stupid idiocy is important to bring up here so that we can either debunk it or fact check it or, kind of change the perspective of it the right way from what is maybe being portrayed on the channels that you're mentioning right here. That's right. Fiercely saying Lex called it. The Christmas jingle was a manifestation. I love IQ's confidence. He's not shaken by stupid noise. Keep it up, IQ. Chain deserved. That's right. That's right. In some ways, he's extremely defiant and angry on the down low with the audacity of Raptors fans treating him like they have this year. Seriously, you can tell that energy under there. In some ways, he's such a man of God and he knows his purpose and he knows his duty is to the Raptors. But in some ways, he's kind of like, man, y'all have been wrong to me. And what's wrong with y'all? Do you not understand how hard I work for this team and how much I want this for this team and how much I'm doing for everything? And y'all are going to turn around and nitpick me in the science lab with your microscopes? Science lab, put your microscopes up. Stop looking at a manual so like nitpicky. It's stupid. Just let that man do what he's doing, man. Let the man cook because we see what he does when he cooks. We get good things like last night. That's it right there. Nako saying, thank you, YouTube, for having 10-hour loops of Looney Tunes. Yeah. Yeah, Looney Tunes are good stuff, man. I've been watching the old Looney Tunes cartoons. And, there's usually like the story is a small animal that's cute and funny is being chased by an ugly, mean animal. Whether it's a Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, Tweety Bird and Sylvester, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. It's just like the common story there. What is that story? And what is the lessons that we learn from Warner Brothers Looney Tunes about have fun, be happy and loose, be goofy like Bugs, or be smart and confident in your cuteness, Tweety Bird. Be quick, Roadrunner, and you will beat the ugly, horrible people like the Wile E. Coyote, like Sylvester the Cat, like Yosemite Sam. All that bullshit. I mean, there's a lot of stories and lessons in that. And maybe the more powerful animal, like Tom coming after Jerry, has a balance with Spike the dog. I don't know. I don't know why I'm riffing on this right now. He wanted to talk about Looney Tunes. It's kind of interesting lessons you learn from cartoons with the happy-go-lucky good guy, the good character, and then the predator, the one who's absolutely trying to kill the animal that is Tweety Bird. Yeah, there's a lot of stories in this, and they apply to the current U.S. situation. Let's just say that. Reggie saying Toronto needs a 5 badly, very badly. I don't see that. No timeline for Jakob's return. Yeah, I don't agree with this. I think we're fine. We're winning. In some ways, it'll be great to have Jakob back. It'd be great if we got somebody, but I don't think we're as desperate anymore. We're definitely not as desperate as we were around Christmas and how we felt about this. I'm not anymore. I think that Scotty is just decided, even if he doesn't totally want to be a true five, he can handle a lot of the big boy business for the Raptors now. And Sandro is pulling his own weight too, guys. We got to give him credit too. Seriously. Fiercely saying this, Medved Ted, at first, it was disappointing to see SGA pull a LeBron storms off the court. But I understand he only got one shot in the fourth, and his team didn't show up offensively. Frustrating for him. I have no problem with it. Seriously. This is a guy we're going to ride with for Canada in international games and FIBA and the Olympics and World Cups and stuff like that. Man, I stand with him. Listen, we know SGA is a good citizen. We know that SGA is not a bad person. If he has those feelings and he wants to be that way, leaving the court, let him. I respect that. I don't look at him as tacky. I don't look at him as a bad sportsman because in some ways, look, he knows RJ real well. He knows a lot of the guys on our team, some of these Kentucky connections with Emmanuel and stuff like that. I can't fault him for this. He's an ultimate competitor and he wanted to leave the court. I didn't get mad at the Pistons for walking off the court on the Bulls a long time ago either. But then again, I was a Pistons fan at that time. People can spin it however they want. I don't think it's a bad thing. It just shows that SGA cares, is what I'm saying. Yeah, Isaac's saying this. I missed the game, but I heard Scotty Barnes is a pretty damn good player of basketball. Yes, Isaac. Yes, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family, Isaac Campbell, the benevolent one, holding it down for us in the nation's capital of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Yes, sir. Yes, he is a pretty damn good basketball player. That's right. Have an awesome week, folks. Back at you, Isaac. That's right. Trevor J saying Orlando Robinson's a two-way for the Magic. Yeah, we'll have to see if he's playing tonight. Wouldn't that be weird if like Bobby was watching the 905 game tonight? He's like, oh yeah, Orlando Robinson. Why don't I just call him? He's a two-way though, so he's not available. We can't get him. That's too bad. Mr. Roger Raymond is here. What a great game. The Raptors are building for end of the season. They show remarkable commitment to each other. Refs tried to keep Scotty Barnes on the bench. Yeah, the foul trouble was interesting. When he got his fifth foul, with like 9 minutes to go in the game, that was a scary moment because we need Scotty out there to make that big block at the end of the game. So kudos to Darko for managing him by grabbing him and pulling him out of the game, but he did bring him back pretty quickly after that. Like he only sat for like 4 minutes of those 9 minutes and came right back in with 5 minutes to go. Partly because I could see Darko was sensing the Oklahoma City Thunder were kind of doing some things and the game could be lost. So really good management by Darko to protect Scotty from fouling out. That's been an issue in a couple of games now where Scotty fouling out could have happened. We kept him in the game the other day for using a challenge to keep him in the game, which was awesome. And this one, Scotty played smart, and he never got that last foul and fouled out. But getting it with 9 minutes to go, that was a little scary. Jenna Schroeder is not necessarily nice to Scott. And they were having some conversations after that fifth foul. And, Scott's giving his case. He's doing such a better job with the refs, too. Like, his interaction with the refs is way better. And he's getting better things from it. Like they say, you get more with sweet than sour, right? And if you talk to them like humans and you don't yell at them and you don't get all pissed off at them, maybe they'll do more for you in certain ways. And Scott's found that over time. He's definitely found that over time. Roger Raymond, always good to see you here, man. Stargate saying, anything you hear from he who shall not be named, Raptors Digest, Amateur Hour, Sports, etc., is all nonsensical prattle. Well, I mean, I feel like I've got a better grip on the Raptors situation, being a positive, looking to the light, kind of saying this is who we are and we're doing this instead of being a Debbie Downer and being all Eeyore about the team. People say, oh, they're good, but how good are they really when we get to the playoffs? Shut up. Can't we just have fun? Can't we just believe irrationally to a degree that our Raptors could win the 2026 NBA championship? Maybe they could. Maybe we could figure things out even more. Maybe Jakob comes back. Maybe there's new levels of higher level play because these guys aren't satisfied. They're not just staying at this one point in the season saying this is who we are. I mean, they have been getting better and better as the season goes on. And if they're healthy, anything can happen. The Raptors in 2019 were like that. Anything can happen. So who knows? Let's not limit ourselves to say, well, there's no way they're going to win the championship. Who fucking knows? Who knows? Open your mind to it, because I opened my mind to the fact that the Raptors could be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference this year. And well, it's happening. And I think that we hold ourselves back by telling ourselves we can't do things. And that happens in our personal lives too, right? That happens in our personal lives. Fiercely saying, yes, Isaac Campbell. Our boy Scotty was quite a force. Lockdown. Check him out on NBA Instagram. He's all over it. Yeah. People are waking up, man. I think that people really respect and like our nucleus. Like other NBA fans, not in Raptors Nation, they're saying, man, the Raptors with Scotty, RJ, Brandon, and Quickly, these guys are awesome. These guys are fun. They got a lot of good players. And like I said, we're getting general NBA respect right now. In fact, it's like we just beat the best team in the league, and we should be feeling like it doesn't matter where we get on the court, when and who, we have a good chance to beat whoever it is we're facing up with. There's none of this like last year, in a 30-win season, we got 29 wins as of last night. We're going to get a 30-win season very soon. And before the All-Star break, there were a lot of realistic like things we had to tell ourselves. It's like, yeah, but we're not good in this area and we're not this. This year, we really got to kind of be open to the idea that success can happen at levels that we didn't even anticipate this year. Because that's just the work in progress of Darko and the thing they're building. Is that, like he said, they're taking data. He said this after the game last night. Every single game is an opportunity to take in information about the team and learn more about it and continue to grow and get better. So there's no resting on your laurels. There's no like, wow, we did so good. We just won 4 games in a row on the West. There's none of that. It's taking the information from that and going forward and continuing to press forward. And that is evidenced in the way the players play all out. Like Scotty the other night, we were already winning by like 11. What's he doing? He's still blocking guys at the end of the Portland game. He's just blocking people at the end, or the end of the Sacramento game. He's just like, he's going all out. Wait, the game's over. Calm down, Scott. You're a maniac. No, this is just how we are. And we're going to do this. I'm going to push the potentials of success for the Raptors higher and higher as the season goes on. So who knows where we are in April, guys? Seriously, can you say that we've grown since October with our team and who they are right now? Yeah, because Brandon's got him more integrated and comfortable, and all kinds of other things are happening on the down low in the whole ecosystem of the Raptors. That's made them better and better every week as we go through the season. And that's what an NBA team's supposed to do in an 82-game season, is get better as the season goes on. Isaac saying, I will have to learn about this guy. Happy Capital Snow Day. Okay, you need to learn about Scotty. All right, that's funny. Seymour saying, great win. Kicking ass out west. I like it. No, I love it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I love it. I love it. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying, I am also side-eyeing both Hello and Welcome and Mike Roach as well. They always bring up totally non-apropos, unnecessary, and unwarranted negatives. No reason, even after this win. They are suspect. I won't give that to Mike Roach. I feel like Mike Roach is actually truly being a journalist. And in some ways, most of his questions are fair. And he's not really kind of being an opinion piece. And I like the whole relationship of Mike with his guests. He lets them give the information. And he's kind of just setting up questions for them. And in the interview with Jack Armstrong from last week, he goes through basically the main important Raptors players. And he has Jack opine on each of them and what he's seeing from them this season so far. And it's a really good format. And Jack gets a lot of good information and takes out, informing Raptors Nation better to fight what you're disgusted with, Stargate. So let's give Mike Roach a credit and not put him in this category, because seriously, I don't see him the same way. Maybe at times Mike Roach in the past on Hustle Play Podcast may have had some crazy questions that were kind of Eeyore-ish. But for the most part, in the series he's done this year with the broadcasters, he's been really just kind of the straight man and allowing them to be the ones filling in the content. So I don't get that from him. Hello and welcome for sure. For sure. I'm with you on that, on this opinion. They're a suspect. That's right. Fiercely saying this, no slight OG, Pascal, Precious, Trent, but RJ and IQ bring something different. I sense more dog factor as they compete till the end. It's hard to describe, but I feel confident in the fourth. This is something Jack said about RJ in the podcast with Mike Roach that I'm talking about. He said if he's on a schoolyard and he's got to pick players and RJ's out there, he's picking him first because RJ is a winner. RJ is a guy who's going to try and do everything possible to help his side win. And we see that in the way he plays for the Raptors. That's just the truth. RJ is a winner. It's like you can go ahead and do analytics. You can look at all these numbers and stuff, but sometimes there's just an intangible thing that's in a spirit of a person. And RJ is like that. He has to compete. He cares. He really wants to win. And especially wants to win for the jersey that says Toronto Raptors on it. Especially. So you want those kind of players that'll do anything it takes to try and get that win. And RJ's like that. We saw him in recent games. You know, Sky misses a shot and RJ's running in to get a tip and a tip back to put the ball back in. You know, he's out there working. That's right. G's saying this is why you show patience and support for your team and players. That's right. That's right. Nurture them, support them, believe in them, and don't diss them. You know, it's such a mental game in some ways. The NBA is so hard. This is why they make millions of dollars. Is because you're in such a public spotlight, and your job is totally watched by millions of people, and they all want to be critical or thinking of they know better about you. That's tough, man. And in some ways, there's all kinds of pitfalls where you could fall into hearing the noise and screw yourself up. So in some ways, that's why, you want to protect the guys on your team from the noise and not be the noise yourself. Because trust me, our enemies and the NBA itself will put out enough negative noise and confusing noise about our team that we don't need our own Raptors nation doing it with them. This is what I say right there. Yeah. Seymour saying Scotty is the best two-way player in the league right now. Yeah, I agree with this. Yeah. Stargate saying Lex, and this channel is technically the only one of its kind. So big up the Raptor Freak for making the difference maker. I just got sick of it, man, of exactly what you're talking about. The reason why I made this channel is exactly what you're talking about. I just got sick of this whole idea that Raptors fans have to be cynical, judgmental, and critical all the time. We don't have to be that. And I wanted to make a place where we could show role models of fans for other fans to encourage better, more productive, positive fan behavior. That's one of the biggest things that I wanted to do here. It's like, why would you invest time in watching games and getting behind a team, paying for tickets, buying merchandise, just to be miserable about it? Why can't we enjoy being Raptors fans and just like have the delight of the positives of it instead of looking at all the negatives and all this stupid other stuff? And in some ways, I wanted to carve out space for all of us to have a better time is basically what I wanted to do. I just saw that it's like so toxic on social media in different places, and content makers were gaslighting and just clickbaiting and just doing all kinds of stuff just to, that piece that Hello and Welcome put out last week, asking the question, is RJ tradable by the Raptors? That's clickbait. And that's perpetuating the whole idea that RJ may be able to be discarded by our team frivolously. Like, I get it. William Liu's opinion on that show was, no, we don't want to trade RJ. But you used clickbait. And in some ways, not everybody's going to click through and hear your whole show to hear your ultimate opinion. And they may be thinking that you guys are advocating that we should be thinking about trading RJ just because you have a cheap stunt of putting a title out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that kind of stuff because in some ways, the laziness of the content for engagement is the laziness of the person who ingests it and only takes a little piece of it, and they misinterpret the whole thing. You could see that headline, and then maybe more people are talking about, what are we trading RJ? Are we trying to trade RJ? I don't even want to put the word RJ in the same sentence as the word trade at this point. I don't even want to have anything come to do near with that fruition. No, not. No, I don't. That's right. Seymour saying, hey, Lex, why are you punking Home God? It's ball, Lex. Scotty is the best two-way player. It's a tough shot to take for Chet. Salute Scott. He is him 100%. I just don't like him. I've never liked Chet Holmgren. I know you like him. And that's all right. We don't always all have to agree on stuff. I think Chet Holmgren's a goofy-ass player. And in some ways, he's a fraud. I'm going to say it again. He's a fraud. That's what I'll say. That's my opinion. It's not all the Raptor Freaks' opinion, and that's fine. Dunk at Seymour? Yeah, we'll do that. He doesn't agree with me. That doesn't mean I hate him. That doesn't mean either one of us is right or wrong. And I'm going to give him a dunk. I'm not hating on him. See, I would be a good role model for disagreeing in this world and being okay with disagreeing. Seymour likes Chet Holmgren. I do not, but he's going to get a dunk. And he's at the Thad Young 21 because of that. There you go. Isaac calling it out. There you go. I'm not going to get in the way just because of that. That's right. Seymour saying, my mom called me yesterday from Toronto. Y'all stay warm. Please play safe. Yeah, it's crazy here. I think the worst is past us. It's still very, very cold. I mean, I think that they closed the schools today. Like they didn't make the kids go to school in Ontario today because there was a certain amount of snow accumulation in the last weekend. And, I drove in it yesterday. I had to drive Adriana back to her house, and it was not easy driving. I fishtailed a few times. The roads were not clear out here. And it was a little bit precarious and dangerous. I did see some people going off the road into the ditches and getting stuck. So, yeah, it was high-level driving skill day yesterday. You needed to be good at driving in the snow because the streets were not clear, and a lot of people were not out on the road because of that. Good thing it was a Sunday. But I like getting the test for me because I did not grow up in Canada, and I don't have as much snow driving experience as most Canadians. In fact, the last 2 years are really the most of it that I've had. But I like the challenge, and I'm learning it better and better. And I did lose control of the truck once on the way back. But as you can ask Adriana, I caught control of that fishtail real nice, and we were okay. We stayed on the road. So, yeah, it's harrowing out there in the middle of a snowstorm with a lot of snow on the ground and driving your truck. And when you don't have winter tires, like I'm driving on all season tires, I may be crazy for that, but I figured it out. That's right. That's right. Salute the nation's capital. And Isaac, there you go. HC's here. The one defeated is here. Rise and shine. That game was amazing. I was worried for a bit, but it closed that road trip well. Coming back home, the first couple of games are going to hurt. Yeah, we are only coming back for one game. And then we're going right back on the road to Orlando. Yeah, that's a trap game. When they do that, they give you a long road trip, and you have the first home game back, but you're immediately getting packed up to get on the plane again right after. It's a trap game. And that's by design to help the Knicks on Wednesday night. So realize this, guys. In some ways, I hope we overcome it. And we're just like, yeah, throw whatever you want at us. We're going to beat the Knicks at home on Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We're going to have to see how it goes. Shaq's saying this. BI was overjoyed with the win despite not having a great game because it was a great team win. Oklahoma City is BI's Achilles heel. BI on the Pelicans could never get over that wall. Toronto's a match made in heaven. Yeah. And this is interesting because the Oklahoma City Thunder announcers talked about Brandon a lot during the game and the battles between the Pelicans and the Thunder and how familiar they were with him. I think, in fact, that may be part of the reason why out of the main Raptors, Brandon may have got shut down the most because they have the most tape and most time dealing with him from his Western Conference days on the Pelicans. Yeah, I could totally see what you're saying, Shaq Lindsay, that Brandon in some ways is smiling a little bit bigger than some of the other Raptors because of the wall that the Thunder have been putting up on the Pelicans over the last few years when he played for New Orleans. Yeah, I could see this. And Brandon is like, look, there's no ego in this, man. The man's extremely talented player. He could be like taking all the shots on a team like Charlotte. He could do all this, but in some ways he wants to fit in with the team, and it's not about how much he wants. Once again, we're getting back to the whole idea of abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. And the evil people in this world want us to believe there's scarcity, so they'll pit us against each other. But if you know the truth, like Darko does, that there's enough for everyone to go around, we don't pit each other against each other. This is very, very in general for life in itself. The whole idea of ownership and owning things and having this and you don't have that is just a cheap ego boost that in some ways is sad and pathetic that some people need that to feel like they're better than other people. So it's like Brandon, he could be a whole bunch of other things on a whole bunch of other teams, but you know what? He's a lesser role on this team than some of those other roles, and he's much more happy getting the W's. Yeah, because he's a basketball head. He's a team player, and he's one of the top offensive players in the league. And that kind of mentality in him, well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. You know, SGA, he's a similar kind of player. You know, he was given a lot of credit by Mark Dagnall in the pre-game interview that Shea really could go and score way more and be more dominant as a player, but he gets better and he gets his teammates better next to him. And that's really important to Gilgeous-Alexander, that as he rises in fame and accolades and his skill as an individual in the NBA, he brings his team up with him. And he's trying to make all of his teammates better. Those are the kind of good players in the league that you want on your team. Those kind of guys. Seymour saying, we had +5 weather yesterday. I wanted to barbecue after that win. So you had +5 over there? Meanwhile, I got -30 yesterday morning here when I was doing the stream. Yeah, it was -30. It's crazy, man. One of the coldest temperatures I've registered since I moved out here in the woods. Yeah, it was different. It was different, but I also got through it all right. That's right. Neil's saying this negative feedback is a part of the sport that can make or break a player. IQ has decided it will not break him. I do recall a Ben Simmons breaking, so not everyone can withstand the criticism. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. The mental challenges that Ben Simmons went through and stuff like that, it just compounded because of like the way it looked from the outside and how people felt. And then the noise just got even bigger and bigger and crazier. Yeah. Yeah, I can see this. I can see what Neil's saying here. You know, it is a part of the sport, but you know, once again, the Raptors have a circle of trust and they inoculate or incubate themselves away from the noise, and they just worry about how they feel about things. Like Emmanuel doesn't have to worry about what Jabroni A on this YouTube channel or Jabroni B on this social media comment thinks about him. He needs to worry about what Bobby Webster thinks about him. He needs to think about what Darko thinks about him. His teammates think about him. The ownership thinks about him. That's who he needs to worry about, thinks about him, not us. It's not us. Isaac's saying, I think we just call SB4 Scotty W from now on. Wayne is a fine middle name, but I'm talking about only big W's in the chat. That's right. Scotty W. Barnes. That is his name. That is his name. Scotty W. Barnes. Yeah. Is that maybe that's the nickname. We were trying to figure out nicknames for Scott early on. I came up with some really crazy nicknames for him, like Scotty von Barnhauser, the Red Baron strikes again. like he's a barnstormer. Scotty von Barnstormer, because of the way he swoops in and lays up and dunks on the fast break. We also thought about calling him Scotty Basketball because he loves basketball so much. He practices all day, and then he'll go home and play the basketball video game all night. And just always consuming basketball. Scotty Basketball. But maybe the most simple one was there all along because his middle name is Wayne and his middle initial is W. And that's what Scotty loves to say. Big W's in the chat. When the 2K wins come on the video game, chat, give me big W's. And Isaac and Fiercey and Monique and all of us were dropping those big W's in the Twitch stream for Scotty Barnes. So Scotty W. Barnes, that may be it right there. Scotty W. Barnes. And that is his name. That is his name. Salute the call in from Infamous. Always good to hear from Infamous. HC saying, is it me? Or is the school closure stuff getting out of hand? This weather isn't anything worth all the drama. Well, you know, I'd say, man, it was dangerous out there to drive. Seriously. I mean, I don't know why they didn't go today if they got the roads cleared in time, but there's a lot of accumulation. I don't know. I didn't grow up here and got snow days when I was in school, so I don't know the frequency and stuff like that. I mean, it was very dangerous to drive yesterday in Ontario. It really was. I don't know. Maybe it is goofy that they didn't go to school today. Maybe it is. Yeah. Win of the season. Okay, now you're saying this is the game of the season. Nako keeps coming in and saying this is the game of the year. This is the game of the year. This is the game of the year. Like Golden State was the game of the year last week. Now all of a sudden it's Oklahoma City. This is impressive. I mean, we beat the Warriors and the Thunder on this trip, and those are two very big signature wins on the road for sure. Stargate saying Kendrick Perkins is laughing at everybody. He's gloating. He's on his "I told you so" moments. Him and I, we deserve this because him and I were two of the only people that saw the truth about the Raptors and called it in the offseason last year. Yeah, we deserve this. Kendrick deserves it just like I do because he was a believer in the Raptors from the start, and we got that. That's right. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull, Heat Nation, Pitbull. Oh my gosh. HC saying this. Kendrick definitely has some type of connection to Toronto. The way he keeps giving us praise, assuming a six bunny, laugh out loud. But I'd rather keep us on the radar. I don't know if it's something like that. I think that, you know what? Sometimes guys are just honest people. And I think that him and Charles are pretty honest people. And because Charles has also seen us very clearly too and given us a fair shake a lot of times too. Charles Barkley. You know, some of these pundits are against us and they will very much be biased and talk us down no matter what. And in fact, Vince is sadly one of them. But, you know, Kendrick Perkins, Charles Barkley, Lou Williams, who used to play for us, they're always giving us fair shakes and talking us up in their podcasts and shows that they do. So I appreciate those people that, you know, in some ways they don't let any kind of like xenophobia or US bias get in the way of actually seeing the Raptors for who they are. I appreciate that. And Charles has been like that for years for us. He's been very fair to us when other people have not been fair to the Toronto Raptors. And he's been pretty clear about how he feels the Raptors are way better than people are giving us credit too. So, you know, I'll put Barkley in with Perkins on this. Yeah, I'll put him in there. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying SGA is just lucky he didn't have to face Colin Murray-Boyles. That's a whole other level. I mean, some Thunder fans would probably come in and say, yeah, but we didn't have J-Dub. We didn't have Caruso. We didn't have iHeart. Well, we didn't have Jakob and Colin too. And, you know, you can say all this stuff. It's the teams, and you got to get out there. I mean, if the Denver Nuggets will beat us without Jokic and a whole bunch of people in Toronto, don't make any excuses, Thunder. Because the Nuggets could beat us at home without some very important players. So, yeah, you show up with who you got, and I don't want to hear any of this garbage like J-Dub this, iHeart that. Fuck all that. You guys had who you had. We had who we had, and we beat y'all. And that's just how it is right there. That's just how it is. That's right. Neil's saying SGA understood what happened. He didn't want to give Raptors credit. He didn't want to put his teammates down, so he played stupid. It's not the first time players have not admitted why they lost. No, I'm not shading him. No, that's not what he did that. No, you got to watch the interview, Neil. What he said was basically he felt very confident that the Thunder had it under control and that they were going to win the game because everything was going according to plan with how they were doing, and we just switched the script. And IQ took control and rerouted that game by 2 quick threes to put us up. That 6-point margin right there is what jumped us over. So you could give a whole ton of credit to quickly having the balls to hit those 2 threes right after each other to really get that distance and put us over the top at the very crucial time at the clutch at the end of the game. And that was just landing that plane. You know, no, I don't read this like this. It's like, I don't read this like this. What he's saying basically is this is normally what we would do is we would be fine and we just cruise to the win because we know how to close games and win it. This is kind of off script that the Raptors manhandled the game towards themselves at the end of the game. And in some ways that should be impressive to us that the Raptors out-vetted the champions and won the game in clutch by outperforming them when that you know, that's go time. That's when champions rise to the occasion the highest, right? Game 7 against the Pacers. That's what he's saying right there. G's saying this. Scotty and IQ have been and are clutch in different ways, for sure. And RJ's a clutch player too. We could say Brandon's a clutch player also. We've got a lot of clutch factor in our starting lineup more than ever right now. And it's partly, you know, a dog that was already in the Knicks guys who came to us. It's partly the high level of skill that Brandon has to execute in high pressure situations against very tough odds. And then partly it's the emergence of Scotty in his 5th year in the league, showing up with a whole new level of defensive, compete in the final minutes of the game. So it's like the clutch is coming in all of a sudden in different ways. And I love it. It's so good. It's so, so good. Shaq saying, no Colin Murray-Boyles, Scotty in foul trouble. SGA, please. You're nice, but don't let your ego fool you. It's not that, guys. I don't take this as ego, man. The guy's a good guy. It's just that he's upset because they've lost 2 in a row. And, he's a competitor. He's a very fierce competitor. He gives a shit a lot about his NBA career. And you know what? He's just acting like Michael would have. Michael Jordan would be pissed off too if he lost a game like that last night as a champion. So in some ways, he's coming by it honestly. And I don't take anything that SGA did at the end of the game as negative. He's just an ultimate competitor. Go ahead, call him a bad sport. I don't care. That dude is our dude for Canada. We should be standing with him. We can stand for the opponent, even though it's against the Raptors. He's our Canada dude. So in some ways, we should be big up in him and talking him up and not bringing him down and making him sound like an egoist or some sort of crybaby or anything like that. That's the wrong action. Think about what I say about standing for IQ in the Raptors. Well, I do that for Team Canada too. That's why I'll stand with Dylan Brooks, even if he's wrong. That's why I will stand with the Team Canada guys that are on other teams, because I want to see them develop and get better and better, because Team Canada getting better is a good thing too, right, guys? So let's not stab SGA in the back because he's a competitor and he's pissed off that he lost the Raptors last night. No, let's speak up that he is a competitor and he really cares. And I don't, all these negative connotations you guys are throwing at a Gilgeous-Alexander. Why are you doing that? He's a native son and he's our best player on Team Canada. So I can look at it that way, man. I think that Lou Dort and SGA are awesome, and they played great last night. And despite things, especially Dort played sensational. And, give a lot of credit to SGA for getting through the buzzsaw of the Raptors defense and getting to the amount of points that he did by the end of the game. He could have easily had a much less scoring game the way we were handling him and tying him up and just coming at him all kinds of different ways. Yeah. Mr. Quasimodo saying, low-key, Ochai Agbaji saved the game working in the shadows. Yeah. I mean, it's a team effort. Everybody did their part, the 9 players that took the floor last night for the Raptors. Everybody did their part. They all contributed in some sort of way, whether it's carrying Lou Dort around the court, whether it's little unsung shadow things that Ochai Agbaji was doing out there, for sure. For sure. Or was that Jacoby at the end or the foul? I mean, there was a bunch of different people taking the assignment of SGA at different times. Credit should be spread about. Jacoby may be the primary defender for SGA last night, but they all took turns. And we saw Scotty on him too. So they all get credit. That's right. That man has boings. Boings. Grady was getting up there to tip the ball a bunch at one point. I like that never quit. He's jumping in there with bigger players, and he kept tipping the ball. And then I think we got the ball because of that, because he was just so determined. Yeah, the hustle and the all-out play by the Raptors is top level. It's really top level. Yeah. Let's see. We got Lionheart in here. Thanks for the subscription, man. Most people talk trash, don't watch the games. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I also think that a lot of people that talk trash are not really fans of the team. They're like NBA fans. They could be people that live in Toronto, but they're not really they don't ride with the Raptors like we do. It's kind of like I'm an NBA fan in general. I just happen to live in Toronto's market. In some ways, I like the Lakers more than the Raptors. It's these kind of people. It's their energy. Lionheart, thanks for the comment. I hope to see you more in the chat. Stargate saying, when I saw IQ get to the line after Shed missed those last 2, I was like, it's over because Quick ain't missing them. I said the same thing. I said the exact same thing, Stargate, here. I was like, oh, IQ's making these. It may be the taking his time. His name's Quickly, but one thing he don't do quickly is shoot the free throws. No, he don't. He takes his time and he measures them and he makes sure he makes them. And I appreciate him for that, man. G's saying that Darko deserves a ton of credit for sure. And that Open Gym episode that released on Saturday has opened the curtain to see the inner workings of the Raptors and the way that they work and the way that he coaches and the way that they talk to each other and why they're doing so well. We see Scotty in the huddle, his team leadership as the captain, and we see Darko in the way he's teaching and coaching and getting the team to grow and develop and get better and better as time goes on. You've seen the inner clockwork if you watch the Open Gym episode from Saturday. You can see it. You can see it right there. That's right. Give him credit. Lionheart saying, quickly clear, better all-round player than first arrived. You know, Emmanuel's been on our team for like 2.5 years now in some ways. It's kind of crazy to think that. And, you know, last year he was pretty much hurt the whole season for most of it. And that really did put him back. And in some ways, that didn't really give him the chance to start exploding like he's doing now. It's been on a delay because he should have played way more last year. And maybe he would have had more good faith with Raptors Nation because he was more available and we had seen him more. That was the most hurt he's ever been in his career. And God forbid it ever happen again. Because honestly, he's been very healthy this year, and you see what he does when he's healthy. That's the difference. It just took a little while because he was hurt last year. We didn't see it. That's right. Infamous is saying, give yourself a dunk today, Lex. You are on 1,000% today. No lie detected. All right, I'll do that. You know, I'm not trying to self up myself or pat myself on the back. I'm really just kind of here as a host to try and be a conduit for all of us to get our Raptors opinions out. So I'm getting my second dunk of the year. I got the Corey Joseph 6. So I'm out of Pickering right now. That's right. I'm in Pickering with Corey Joseph on the 6. I appreciate that, Infamous. I do. Neil's saying this. When people are calling out BI and Scotty for not scoring over 20 points, they are not understanding the collective efforts of the team where starters were in double digits and bench scored over 30. Team win. Yeah, they're casuals. They only look at like scoring. Like Lionheart said, they're probably not even watching the game. And, you know, once again, I've told this for years on this channel. For all 4 years I've been doing this show. This is the only stat that matters. None of the individual stats matter. The team stat of this, the W. That's the only stat that matters. I don't give a shit. Scotty only scored 10 points last night. Who cares? They won. And that's the only thing that matters. That's right. Reggie's saying Raptors were very composed. Impressive win. That's the best of the best. And they beat them in a strategic close game with lead changes. Very, very close game throughout the game. And they landed that plane on our side for the W. That's good. That's a sign of where we come. Seriously. Because last year we ain't winning games like this. No, we're not. You know that. We'd fumble balls. We'd fumble close games in recent years with Darko as our coach because we're rebuilding and growing as a young core. They've learned this. They're winners. Shed, Quickly, RJ, Scotty, Brandon. These guys are winners, and they're showing that they're winners against the winners from last year. That's the thing right there. Smooth saying that Knicks game's going to be very tough. Will be a benchmark game for the Raps. It's going to be another good test. And that's what it's saying. We had a test yesterday. We took it and we passed. Well, let's take the test on Wednesday with New York Knicks. We've lost all the games against them so far this year. We got to beat them. In some ways, we got to prove that we can beat them because we have not beaten them. That's a problem there. Yeah, Seymour saying, keep devouring your food, Raptors. That's right. That's right. That's right. Just like in Jurassic Park. Blackhawk saying Lou Dort thought he was in a country bar and Sandro was the electric bull. It's like he was like a parrot, man. That was some weird thing, man. I've never seen that in the history of the NBA. I've never, ever seen that particular thing happen. Like, seriously. And he was like almost bragging that he could carry him. He's like, I'll walk with him. He didn't try and put him down or anything. He's like, I'll hold him up here and I'll walk with him. It's so weird, man. It's pretty cool. Wayne saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good victory last night. Good while since we won a game against Oklahoma City, victory is not the point. To me, we have the ability to win on the road and to raise our game when ready. I love it. Yeah. Sergeant Wayne is beaming with pride. You know, he's a tough critic, and this shows that we really are coming a long way. I appreciate this, man. I do. Yes. Or Reggie's saying unbelievable. There's people online justifying the killing. Yeah, there's a lot of like brainwashed people on the MAGA side. They're bootlicking and kissing the ass. And man, it's obvious in the evidence from the videos exactly how this was a murder. And well, these are diversions of realities right now. This is what I'm saying. They will try and shape perception and lie to us and say this is what it is. The government is telling you this is what you saw, and you have to follow the government and fall in line with it. Well, some weak-minded people, like somebody who used to be on this channel all the time, are going to buy that hook, line, and sinker because they're stupid and they're dumb, or maybe they're in the Trump cult so deep that they have to go all in and continue to ride with them through their depraved, fucked up vision of what reality is in life, in the world. Maybe they're rooting for the dystopian, totalitarian dictatorship that they're trying to establish. Well, most of us see the truth, and most of us are against this, and most of us will come and beat their asses out of power. And that should happen as soon as possible. But sadly, the Democrats and the government are compromised by corporate interests, and they're not standing up to this in a way. So basically, we're seeing now that the United States system of government is completely broken, and that in some ways they need to throw all these elected officials out the fucking window and start over. In some ways, people may need to be like, I'm not Democrat or Republican, I'm humanist, and I'm against dictatorship. And I'm with all the other humanists that are for humanity and for people being treated like humans and not like animals murdered in the street. And in some ways, we're going to stand up for this, and we're going to cross political lines. Whether you're right wing or left wing, it doesn't matter. It's whether you are for humanity and for what's right and what we were taught is right. And we reject this fake ass world of lies and their perception of what they're trying to portray it as. This is where we're at. It's like, basically, it's like I wrote a message to Fred this morning and said, you can't sideline on this. You have to pick a choice. You have to pick a side. Either you're for the fascists and MAGA and Donald Trump and the police state he's trying to incorporate into the United States right now, or you are for humanity and you are for freedom and you are for children and women and old people and disabled people and people from all different walks of life, people that are diverse, people that come from other countries. Either you're for the people or you're for the bootlicking. And there's no middle ground. You have to come to one side. Either you're going to endorse it and live in this new world that they're trying to set up, or you're going to fight it and we're going to destroy it, and it will not take. It's that simple. You can't sideline on this. And it's the world flipped upside down when the NRA is against the MAGA, when they're coming out and saying, no, we have citizens' rights to bear arms on public streets. This is something we've stood for and fought for as a lobby for a long, long, long time. And it's good that they're not hypocrites and turning their back on this whole platform that they basically stood on their whole entire existence. So yeah, it's a weird world when the NRA is becoming a good guy all of a sudden in the middle of it all. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Not go saying Jacoby had the best expression in the photo. He has the weirdest expressions. He's like doing stuff like, meh. He's doing like, meh. He's like, he has some goofy expressions. They all kind of have their signature expression in the team photos. Bryce says, I called out he who shall not be named for talking shit about IQ. And Kaz called me a rat for coming back here to talk about it. How am I a rat when I literally went to he who shall not be named about his BS? I don't know what Kaz would say that about you. Either way, Bryce, I am not in worrying about you in any kind of way. You've been a great Raptor freak from years. And in some ways, I know where your heart is. I've known you well enough to understand in your comments, the way you've been interacting in this chat for years now, that I'm not worried about this. Well, I'm glad you went there and called him out on this. And good job. That's what I would say to that. That's what I'd say. Bryce is saying, I know I've had a certain stance on IQ, but Lex, you're right. When you say just be a fan, like there's no reason for me to get all bent out about the little things when they're literally winning. Great win last night, Raps. That's the great thing. You know, Bryce is a young guy. He's in his 20s, and he's got his whole life ahead of him. He's got a fantastic fiance, and he has so many great things ahead of him in his life. You know, I don't want him to be influenced by negative people like Panzer so that he sees like the ugliest things in life instead of enjoying the beautiful things in life. And that's part of what I'm trying to do here. It's like, he has a life ahead of him. He should be trying to see the best things and the happiest things. And that's why let's just be fans. And I love that Bryce came around on this because, a lot of people have been critical of Emmanuel and had frustrations with him this year. But in some ways, was it necessary? Well, at that time, maybe it felt like it, but maybe it wasn't. And maybe next time, Bryce is older and wiser. And this is just part of like growing through the ages is you get experience and you learn and you become wiser. And I love this. I love this. This is real time Bryce Lawson expressing that, you know what? I'm just going to try and be more positive and be a fan and just kind of know my role and just like enjoy things because we're winning and things are awesome. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Bryce, I'm going to give you a dunk, man. I'm going to give you a dunk. I kicked my camera there. Let's see. I'm going to give Bryce a dunk for this. And you know what? I don't mind you calling him out. You should set him straight and tell him, you know what? You're wrong for this. And we got the receipts. You got the Detroit BI3. That's your first dunk of the year, man. G's saying the best advice I got. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. The best advice I got. It jumped ahead. I want to make sure I don't miss this comment. Is G. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep moving, guys, for sure. I'm going to have to keep moving. The best advice I got when I was young was don't sweat the small stuff. If you are always looking for something to bother you, you will always find it. Why do that to yourself? Enjoy the good things. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. G with words of wisdom. Not a normal words of wisdom guy. I like this. I'm going to give G a dunk real quick. Our original Raptor Freak trivia champion. He's got the Colin Murray-Boyles 12 right there. Yeah, good stuff, man. Trevor's saying Mamu catches Dort on his shoulder like a bag of potatoes. Yeah, is impressive. Feat of strength. Very impressive. The fact checker, Kesperos here. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Raptors Freaks. Happy morning after beating the champs. We also got a revenge game for BI's injury. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I guess that was the team that he got hurt against last year when he was on the Pelicans. Good point right there. G saying Team World is going to have Giannis and Joker missing now too. Well, I have a lot of confidence in the World team, and even if they're missing certain key top players like Nikola and Giannis, well, we'll just have to see who makes it. I mean, do they get in honorarily and they hold those spots and we don't have replacements? Because, man, it'd be awesome. I know RJ's been hurt, and it's very unlikely that RJ's going to get one of the spots. But it would be interesting if somehow, some way, RJ Barrett got onto the All-Star team just because the World team needed more people because of injuries. Maybe injury replacement for RJ Barrett. Maybe. Common Crazy saying, let's go. No swearing Mondays. A little bit of swearing. I'm trying to keep it on the lower end, though. Fiercely saying someone made a joke of Mamu catching Lugettes. They said SGA should have gotten to the free throw line. Anyway, I'm not into the SGA slander. I think that Mamu carrying Dort around kind of made me think of the Step Brothers, like the whole meme where they're showing like they'd show like the people as their child or something like that. They're showing like Giannis holding LeBron as a baby, like he's his kid. That's what that made me think of. It's kind of like the old memes of like, oh, he made you his kid. They'll put like the face of one NBA player on the parent, and the little baby is the other. You know what I'm talking about. That's what it made me think of right there. Kevin's saying Pat Bev is in jail for assault, and no joke, I'm serious. Now, what I had heard about this, because I heard a little bit about this assault case where Patrick Beverly beat up this guy because he was messing with his sister. Like this dude it might have been an underage thing. Like she's really young and this dude was older and he didn't need to be messing with her and that's why he beat her up. That's kind of what I've heard the story about because I don't know the full details on this. He's still in jail for this because in some ways it sounded like what Pat Bev did was actually good because he was standing up for his sister in the assault that is in a question that we're talking about here. Pat Bev is in jail for assault and out of Israel. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying it's interesting to see on the Game Theory podcast, they were discussing the possibility of Sabonis to the Raptors and how it wouldn't be a great fit because of Toronto's playing style on defense. and offense. They also said to give up either IQ or RJ would be a mistake. They said Sabonis' playing style is similar to BI, Scotty, and Colin, and it would clog up the paint. The irony is said this is the other day on your podcast. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if people are intelligent about basketball, they should come to some of the same conclusions and realize there's a lot of people out there just trying to confuse things. Well, they went and looked at this with thought, and they came to the same conclusions that we did. Wayne saying, if SGA gets off the court last night in disgust, I love it. Victory or defeat, friend or foe during the season. I'm only chummy with my teammates. Tough to do with my Canadian teammates, but necessary. I think it works well on all levels. Who cares if he's going to leave the court? Are we that disrespected? No. We did so well. We frustrated the MVP of the league to leave in disgust. That's fantastic. And from the other end, being a Team Canada fan, it's like, I love that guy because he really gives a shit about winning. So what's not to like about the SGA storming off the court thing? I don't think it's a bad thing in any kind of way you look at it. That's right. Kesper's saying NBA internet has gone mad with deep fakes. Holy cow, digitally altering people as what? Terrorists? Really? Man, that's what I'm saying is we're on the cusp of a whole new era of bullshit and AI slop that I'm just want to miss. I don't even want to be in the thick of it. I don't want to see it. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to see this. When I see doctored images, when I see the evidence of AI and stuff, I stop. I don't watch it. I'm unfollowing YouTube channels. I'm stopping from following people that posted on my streams, on my news feeds and different social media places, because it's like, I see you are all of a sudden into AI. And I'm like, fuck that. You know, JYD, Jerome Williams, he has ads on his Facebook page for his role model book that he came out with last year. And he's using AI people to sell it. He's using like this weird AI Chinese woman who's coming out, and you can tell she's completely not a real person. She's just a type of person with a voice that's something. It's like, buy Jerome Williams' book, Role Player. It's so good, and all this kind of stuff. I read the book, and also it's so fucking fake. But I mean, I can't fault Jerome Williams for trying to use the brand new AI technology to sell his book, but I can see right through it. And like, does these testimonials mean jack shit, JYD? When it's coming from out of thin air from a computer AI person, like that person did not read your book. In some ways, it's kind of like, this is disingenuous and you're lying to me by putting some blonde-haired lady on your Facebook account selling your book, and she's obviously completely AI generated. We're getting into a really weird, fucked up time in history. And that's why, in some ways, as a 50-year-old man, I'm like, all right, y'all go on ahead. I'll stay here. I don't even want to see this shit. And if I see it, the first thing I see it, I unfollow. So I'm just like, all right, I'm cutting off. You were a great person that I enjoyed watching, but you are going on that tip. Nah, we're done. We're done. I won't unfollow JYD because in some ways his AI endorsements of his book are kind of hilarious. Honestly, they're kind of hilarious. And they're so fake in some ways. It's crazy. Let's see. Kesper's saying we need a 5 though to make sure if we risk a major injury to our other guys that we aren't real 5s. I mean, I agree with all this. I really do. You know, Bobby's going to figure it out. The trade deadline, something will happen. I'm pretty sure there will be a minor move. I'm pretty sure there will be. G saying on top of all that, Shaq, he is getting $49 million in 2 years. You know what? Mike brought up some really good points on our Discord server about Emmanuel Quickley's contract, that it's front loaded. Like the money he's making at the beginning of this contract is the highest amount. And as it goes through the contract, he's going to look better and better on this deal. Like he's getting paid the majority of the money for his contract right now. And that's why they can say all this bullshit, this and this. And the money actually gets better and better as the contract goes on. And the contract looks better and better. So the detractors, the critics about Emmanuel's price and the extension that he got, well, they can say that to a degree right now because the contract was front loaded and it looks worse at this point. But over time, the next few years, the price is going to look really right, man. The price is really going to look right over time. That's right. Yeah. Kesper saying not Sabonis, though. I'm talking about getting serviceable backup big. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you that. We agree with you on that. Sabonis is a 4, not a 5. And we already have a 4 that can play 5 in Sandro, Scotty, and Colin. Yeah. We want a legitimate setter size that in some ways gives us depth behind Jakob. In some ways, it should be some of the same characteristics that Jakob provides for our team. I think that that's what it is. Seymour saying they're going to tell Fred to shut up and dribble. Watch. That's them folks for you. Divide and conquer. Go, Fred. We love you. Well, it's not even Fred. This is the whole Players Association that agreed to put out this statement about the murder of Alex Preddy. And that's fantastic. I mean, the NBA needs to take a stand. It needs to be vocal. We all need to. We all need to take a stand and understand and let the world know this is not all right. Whether it's us in Canada, whether it's the Americans on the street in the United States, the rest of the world, same thing. People in Australia, people in Europe, people in Asia, people in Africa, people all around the world need to denounce Trump and the bullshit that's coming from there. And we can all stand united against him. Because if it's Canada and the U.S. Are not totally getting along, well, it's not the people that are not getting along. It's just Trump's sorry ass bullshit that's not getting along with everybody else. I get along with American people. We're cool. We're cool with you up here in Canada. Don't fall for bullshit and start hating us just because your media is trying to paint us as mean people that won't buy your liquor anymore. No. You know, the most well-minded Americans understand the Canadian people love you guys, and we don't want it to be like this. And the only reason why it's been like this is because of the president. I don't even call him the president, the criminal, because of the criminal in the White House. That's it right there. That's it right there. That's right. That's right. We do not want to risk injury by playing power forwards at center. I agree. Yes. Shaq Lindsay saying, why do you think Sabonis and Miles didn't work together? Miles Turner's number were great on defense because Sabonis was a black hole. On offense, it was just the opposite. Well, I'm not talking about Sabonis anymore. You guys don't need to bring him up. I'm not trying to trade for him, and he's a dead topic to me. In fact, we don't need to talk about trade stuff at all. Domantas Sabonis ain't happening, and we've kind of beat this dead horse to the ground. Slug Deezy's here. Lex, you can't blame content creators for clickbait headlines. It's all over the YouTube algorithm, not just Raptor stuff, and the videos are rewarded by views. So why wouldn't they? It's up to the viewer. Well, I just think it's a cheap tactic. I don't do it myself. I mean, I can say that because I'm in the position to say that I don't do it myself, right? I think it's a cheap way. And I think that in some ways, you know, it adds to the misinformation in general in the world. Because clickbait can sometimes use a juicy part. And if people are lazy and they don't fully engage in the content, they don't see the whole story. And they only take the clickbait part. And maybe that's the misinformed part. And that's the part that they should actually not be taking forward. Fred talks about it on Guarded podcast that he did that interview with Kevin Durant and they took juicy little sound bites from it, but they didn't take the full fleshed out comments of what Kevin said. And it caused trouble. Like what Fred said about Kawhi caused some trouble for him and talking about how he knew Kawhi was going to leave right from the start. And then people took just a little snippet of it, didn't pull the full quote out. He was misquoted, and it caused a whole bunch of trouble for Fred VanVleet. So you're right. This is a symptom of the way it is now, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. And it doesn't mean I have to respect people that do it, is what I would say. Because I'm doing the same thing they're doing, and I don't do it. And that's the difference right there. Nako's saying Chet Holmgren likes oxtail more than basketball. Yeah, I don't know about that. He's weird, man. He's so weird. If I was that tall, I'd be making baskets like him. In fact, I would say if I had Chet Holmgren's height, I'd be a 10 times better basketball player than him. I would, seriously. I would have way more skills. I'd be playing way better than him. I would be dominating the league already. Except, yeah, and I would be putting more weight on too. Seriously, man, that dude is a joke. He's a fraud. I'm sorry, he is. He's a fraud. Seymour saying, salute home god. Oxtail is mad good. He just loves him. He just loves him. So DZ's saying to have sense or not, and to believe unnecessary hype. That's the sad thing. You couple in a system that does not value education and wants people to be dumb. They're taking funding away from education in the United States. IQs are dropping in the United States. People are so stupid there You know, it's part of it is reliance on the phone to instead of learning themselves facts. Oh, I don't need to learn this. I'll just know it all because I'm Google and my phone. You know, there's all kinds of reasons why America's stupid enough to get to this point where Trump's in charge like this. And, you know, dumbing down their people. Well, does this make any sense? Let's go ahead and make more fake shit online, more AI shit, more clickbait and all this stuff. Is that going to make things better? No. If people are becoming dumber and less educated, how are they going to discern what is what in this way? You're saying, Slug Deezy. Seriously, think about this. Think about this. That's right. That's right. Jamaica and Canada. That's right. Let's go, Norman. That's right. Nako's saying oxtail is mad good. Yeah, I miss Rasta Pasta. I found out that Rasta Pasta closed. Did you know that, Gerald? They closed Rasta Pasta. It's like Magnus. He lost the lease or something, or he wasn't paying the rent to the landlord for Rasta Pasta on Kensington Avenue and Kensington Market in downtown Toronto. And it went out of business last October. And Mary, the other owner of Rasta Pasta, my former boss at Kensington Variety, she came in and saved the building to still serve the food, but had to change the name. It's not called Rasta Pasta anymore. But she swooped in, taken over the lease. Magnus is out, and Mary is running it again. And I'm so happy. I know she got out of it for a while, and she was kind of getting away from the businesses in Kensington. But I think she was upset to learn that it had gone to that point with the rent not being paid and Rasta Pasta going downhill. But she saved it. So yeah, y'all check out. I don't even know what they call it right now. I think it's like Kensington Jamaican kitchen or something like that is what they're calling it or something. It's in the old location of Rasta Pasta. Go down there and support Mary. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Rasta Pasta. It's not called that anymore, but it's one of the best Jamaican food restaurants in Toronto because they take Jamaican food and fuse it with Italian. And that's why it was called Rasta Pasta. You could get like a fettuccine oxtail, you know, Alfredo. You could get all kinds of amazing fusion dishes between Italian and Jamaican cuisine mixed together. So good, mad good. That's right. That's right. Would be fitting to have Darko as coach for Team World. That would be fitting, but I don't see that happening. I don't know. That would be fitting. Maybe they should do that. Maybe they should make the coach of the Team World team the best world coach with the best record in the NBA. That's a good idea. You know what, Fiercey, you're gonna dunk for this. I like that. I like that idea. That's a good idea by Fiercey. That's innovative and smart. You're on the Anthony Parker 18. That's right. You're on that Anthony Parker. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying Sabonis is a great rebounder, but that's about it on offense. We don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm just gonna keep going. Seymour saying Naco in Calgary, we have oxtail tacos. Mad good. Hey, maybe there are some good things out in Alberta. Kesper saying media corporate direction loves to follow the trend and capitalize on the default mind habits, which is negativity. But true directional change needs to be driven by real impact from the ground up. We can start something better by living and thinking better, coming together in numbers, which is what I think this channel is. Thanks, Lex. Happy to tune in. I appreciate that, Kesper. I know that you're one of the newer Raptor freaks that's come in the last year or so, and I appreciate you sticking around and taking to us and being a regular contributor at this point. I do. I really appreciate that. And, you know, he's exactly right. You know, we want to build a more positive future. We've got to understand the manipulative traits of the advertising and corporate world, that they know dopamine is found in clickbait and clicking. And they also know that negativity will be a catalyst for action, that you'll react to it and you'll get engaged through the negativity. They're baiting you to come in. That's why in some ways I left Facebook. I just said, I'm sick of scrolling through here, and I know that they're doing this to me on purpose, and I'm sick of it. And I've been happier since I left Facebook. It's been a huge change. I quit Facebook as a New Year's resolution, and it's been fantastic this month. There's half the crap that I would have seen, and I would have just been like, oh, this pisses me off. The world's going to hell. I'm not seeing, and especially with a lot of stuff going on. Am I less informed? No, because I'm still hearing the current events. And I'm still seeing this stuff happening, but I'm attacking the information in a way for myself to ingest it and not get shocked or clickbaited or rage baited or any of this other stuff that they're doing that's so manipulative right now. It's so tough. I mean, if I was a parent and I had a kid, raising a kid in today's world is on a whole other level of crazy complicated than ever before. And it's just that this world has just gotten so complicated with the layers and layers of bullshit. Seriously, it's crazy. Randolph's here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freak family. When people don't know your pain, they won't understand your praise. When the praises go up, the blessings come down. Peace. Man, that's an interesting words of wisdom. It's a little bit not what I expected. When people don't know your pain, they won't understand your praise. Yeah, some people won't recognize that your journey has been painful or difficult because they can't relate or they can't even understand what you did. But some other people will, and they will be like, wow, that's amazing. Good job. Those are your people. Those other people that can't understand you or relate to you, they're not your people. But we can all get along and hopefully respect each other still. And that's what is important here. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. All right, here's Stargate's quote of the day. We're getting our words of wisdom, but also our quote of the day. This is from Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. That's so deep, man. That's so deep. You know, there's a reason why people like Gandhi and Mandela were so effective, why MLK was so effective. In some ways, they say nonviolent resistance is so hard to do to get effective change, but in some ways, it's the genius. It's the way of doing it. In some ways, it's very judo. It's like, go ahead, bring your aggressive energy at me, and I will take your energy away from me, out of the way, take you to the floor, you know? Oh, man, this is so deep right now, especially when people are trying to tout might is right. You go ahead with your might is right. You're going to find out just how wrong you are. You're going to find out. That's right. There you go. I love this new segment from Stargate, and always loving the words of wisdom from Trevor and Randolph. That's for sure. Yeah. Nago saying only goes uphill if we keep having games of the year. Well, let's hope for that. Let's get a game of the year against the Knicks and beat their ass. Yeah, on Scotiabank Arena Court. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, I always believe that if any team scores every trip down the court, it matters not the skills on the other team. You are right there in the game. Then we capitalize on their mistakes. Just win. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's a rope-a-dope like Muhammad Ali would do. It's kind of like, oh, you think that we're kind of down, and maybe we're just about ready to pat real quick and get that extra punch at the end through 2 threes by Emmanuel quickly and jump into the lead right at the end. It's game management. It's landing that plane in a close lead changing, tying back and forth game, the whole game that's competitive, and nobody was leading by double digits the whole game. It's like, how do you manage that? How do you win that? How do you strategize that? How do you land that against a champion team, a team that, by all intents and purposes, on paper, they're supposed to be the veteran team that knows how to close the game out and close you out to lose. It's cool, man. It's very, very cool. Kess was saying American NBA media always got the buffoon characters to vouch for us. It's keep the American audiences tuned in because they don't want to hear a team outside the country winning. I don't call those guys buffoons. I don't. I mean, you could say maybe Charles has acted like a buffoon on Inside the NBA with those guys. But yeah, either way, I mean, there's got to be differences of opinion. And well, these guys are siding with us more often than not. And you know what? They seem to have better credibility because of that. They really do. Fiercely saying, apparently we crushed OKC's mission to get a 73-9 record and beat Golden State Warriors. Like they were going to do that. Was that realistic? Like, seriously, that's why SGA got so upset. Were you going to do that? Were you going to win every single game for the rest of the year? No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And the sign that you weren't was losing to Pascal and the Pacers on Friday, the worst team in the Eastern Conference. You're going to lose the Indiana Pacers on Friday. You're damn for sure going to lose to the Raptors on Sunday. That's how it goes right there. See, that's the thing. We saw the door open, and I was like, wow, Siakam and them beat them on Friday night. Well, they can do that. We can do that too. And then the thought of, wow, the Raptors can beat the Thunder becomes more realistic, and then fruition. it comes. It's kind of like that. That's right. That's right. Casper's saying fans in the southern states are actually ignorant. In the season opener, Atlanta fans thought that the Raps win was a one-off win for a team with no playoff aspirations. 3 months later, sweep. Well, once again, they get fed information, and that's the thing. The big lesson in life, and this is dangerous, is don't take that information as gold, as being just the truth. Think for yourself. Have critical thinking in the age of AI and deep fakes, because you're going to need to think for yourself to figure out what is actually true and what is false. Because that's part of it. Those people down there were lied to. So in some ways, it's not, they are ignorant because they were lied to and they don't know the truth. But is it totally their fault? Because they are being gaslit and fed bullshit and lies. And the mainstream media is more worse than ever for this, in supporting the Trump regime and trying to reinforce what they are. Because in some ways, they're under supervision by the Trump people. Like the head of CBS News now is a Trumper, and she is telling them what they can and can't put on 60 Minutes. So it's state-sponsored media, and nobody in the United States should believe anything that any of the major media channels are saying, especially at this point. A lot of people already thought that. I can't listen to mainstream media. They're lying to us. Well, it's 1,000 times worse at this point. It's 1,000 times worse at this point. That's right. Must be Stockholm to watch what the TV tells them. That's right, Stockholm syndrome. In some ways, that's why some people that are good people are celebrating a pedophile protector and a pedophile himself, and also murdering U.S. citizens in the streets. These are supposed to be good Christians and people of God, and like, no, I'm a good American. But you're celebrating and you're rooting for Gestapo police to kill people in the streets. You're not a good American. You're not a good Christian. And you're not a good person. But they're telling you are. Oh, you're this and this. Canadians are so awful. They won't buy American. Oh, they're so awful. They're so awful. Donovan Douglas, good morning to you. Thank you for the subscription. Good thing Shed missed the second free throw so we could get the rebound. You know, in some ways that's true. That's true. Because in some ways he makes it, they inbound the ball and they get it back. So that's kind of true. I wonder if he thought about that in that moment. Oh, hell, I just missed the first one. I better miss it so bad and make sure Scott gets it. That's an interesting comment, Donovan. Thanks for adding it to the mix. That's an interesting thought. I wonder if he did, you know, that is such an interesting thought. That, yeah, it's kind of good that he missed it. Stargate saying the team is learning, every player, Scotty's learning that he is a defensive monster and that within 10 feet of the rim, he's damn near unstoppable. Yeah, and also he's a very powerful defensive player that can ensure us wins on the defensive end at the end of games. You know, who knows what Chet's going to make that shot that Scott blocks. That's a defensive big-time play right there. That's right. Kesper's saying the Lou Dort Mamu situation reminds me of the time Lowry went through between George Hill's legs. Yeah, I remember that. Also think it makes me think about a little bit like Dennis and OG in the bubble. Fred commented on that situation the other day. It was interesting. He brought up like getting in fights in the NBA and how it's not a good idea. That fight between OG and Dennis cost Fred a bunch of money, guys. Seriously. He said that when he saw OG Anunoby take Dennis Schroeder and turn him upside on his head on the sideline, you remember that. If you're a Raptors fan, you were watching then. You remember when OG flipped Dennis upside down. Fred ran over because he knew there was going to be a fracas, and he was on the bench, and he thought he would game it by not coming on the court, by running around the edge of the court. He said he knew that you get fined and in trouble or suspended in a fight if you're on the bench, if you leave the bench and come on the court. But he didn't realize if he left the bench at all, he'd get fined and get in trouble. And that's what happened. Freddie came to try and break up the fight. He wasn't trying to fight. He was trying to break up the fight, and the NBA fined him for it. And he realized after that, I can't be doing anything like that because I don't want to lose $30,000 just for some bullshit like that, you know? And that changed his perception. He said that particular incident about engaging when things are happening on the court in crazy ways with, you know, conflict. So he wanted to be a hero and break up the fight, but he got burned for it, and he's not going to do that anymore, is what Fred said. That was interesting. That story is interesting. That's what I'm saying. Watch Fred VanVleet Unguarded. You're getting all this crazy insight from a great Raptor, and he does have a lot of Toronto Raptors stories he tells on that show. A lot of them, and something like what I just told y'all about. Donovan's saying this. I agree with you, bro. Either you're hot or cold. You can't be warm. Can't be warm. Yeah. You know, in some ways, it's like I know that post people want to, you know, we're very centrist people in general. We're not extremists. We have beliefs, and a lot of us have the same beliefs, but they really made different brands of left and right. And they push people to go to those sides more and more from the middle because they know when we're apart, we don't get together and actually stay together and solidly get stuff done. And that's the biggest problem with the US government is it's become so much like it's anti-left, anti-right, and they don't get anything done because it could be good legislation by right wing or good legislation by a left wing, but they're voting against it just because it's enemies. And then there's a stalling out and everything's ineffective. And then all we have is two tribes that hate each other. I'm sick of this shit. Why can't we all just get along in the middle? The sensible, real people of this world, I lean left, but in some ways, I have a lot in common with somebody who leans right as far as freedom, freedom of speech, the right to live your life without worrying about the cops kicking down your door. You know, all kinds of stuff we can get on the same page for, because really the division of us all in the politics has been one of the biggest problems in this world in the last 20 years. It's annoying. We're all fatigued by it. And I think that most people are ready to say, fuck all this shit. We're throwing this whole two-party system, this whole pitting each other against each other, because it's a facade. The Democrats ain't doing shit to stop this, what's happening. So they're on the same team. So all the people need to get on the same team. Because honestly, we have way more in common with right-wing people, left-wing people do. And in some ways, they've made this bullshit up that we should hate each other and be against each other. And that's why we need to turn it around and say, no, the problem is that the ultra rich have manipulated the media into tricking everybody into thinking each other's enemies, where the whole problem the whole time was that upper class that's cheating us with their tax breaks and their grants. Like they get our tax money granted to them for their projects and rockets and bullshit. And meanwhile, we can't fucking buy groceries or pay our rent or buy houses as young couples. There's something broken with this shit. And the more we understand who the real problem is and we get together, the more we can do something about it. It's all by design that they pull us apart politically. They make a big issue about trans this or immigrant that. These are all diversionary tactics to pit us against each other. And the things that we all care about are way more in common in general. And we got to come together. Because seriously, in some ways, they are trying to stoke a civil war in the United States between two sides. And the thing is, we don't have to bring up arms against each other if we decide we don't want to. They don't have the right to tell us to fight if we don't want to, right? If we show up to the battlefield, they're saying, oh, you got to fight. And we're like, you know what? No, I see you're my friend. You're my neighbor. You're somebody that I've known for years. Why would I fight you? That's what he's going to get to. They're going to amp us up all this stuff. That's why love will win in the end, and hate needs to be vanquished. And people that have hate in their heart and see other people as, I want to murder them because they don't think the same way as me, on both sides they're wrong. They're both sides are wrong. Now, I will say this. The war criminals of MAGA and the current administration need to come to full justice. January 6th was not adjudicated properly, completely, because the leaders of it all were not thrown in jail like the rest of the people that were thrown in jail for it. So they need to make sure they get this done right. And they need to safeguard the American political system so that there's no way that this kind of situation could ever happen again. And we can fix this. I believe in this. I do. Donovan, thanks for being here. Stargate is saying this. IQ is learning how to incorporate his game to the system instead of trying to change it altogether. RJ is learning to play better defense. Brandon is being more vocal and showing leadership qualities. Grady may not be playing well, but he is playing hard. Yeah, everybody's developing and getting better in different ways. And some of them are apparent and some of them are in the shadows, and we're not seeing it completely. It's all happening. That's right. G saying, give Grady 2 more years under Darko, and I think we'll be very happy. I don't want him to take that long. He needs to show a certain level of reliance, that we can rely on him as a bench player making shots off the bench. We need to see that. We need to see that sooner than that. That's right. Good game saying, apparently Pat Bev beat up his sister, not the guy. Oh, he beat up his sister? Oh, man, that's just wrong then. Yeah. All right. Patrick Beverley's a piece of garbage for sure. Kenny saying everyone was good last night. Wow. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Kaloy saying all hail Darko. Thank you, Serbia and Ted Lasso, for turning this team around. That win last night is the real deal. Done through hustle and defense. IQ haters better shut the fuck up. There you go. I love it. Mr. Quasimodo saying, is there anything new the Raptors can look into when it comes to beating the Knicks? Man, we haven't seen the Knicks since around Christmas. They've been using this frenetic physical style of play, switchability to beat us. And in some ways, we have to be ready for that grittiness. That's the thing that beat us the times we played them, is the grittiness. In some ways, also, the calls are favorable for them. The referees allow them to play untethered. And meanwhile, we get in trouble for doing some of the same physical stuff that they do to us. That's in some part the low-key part that isn't spoken out about why the Knicks have been successful against us. So in some ways, we have to match that grittiness and out-gritty them is probably the best strategy, I would say, Mr. Quasimodo. In some ways, we play a very gritty style, and, well, we just have to out-raptor, out-gritty the Knicks, and we'll have to see. They've been floundering a little bit in recent times. They're not as strong as they were when we saw them in December. They have some tough losses recently. So hopefully we can beat them and kick their ass this time. That's what I'm hoping. Kaloy saying we're going to beat the Knicks. The team they beat before is not the same right now. I agree with that. Skywalkin's here. Good morning, Skywalkin. Hey, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for the subscription. Kaloy saying it's amazing how this team is evolving with every loss. IQ finally goes into form. This is the IQ I saw playing for the Knicks. Good things take time. This is a different IQ than playing for the Knicks. In some ways, the IQ playing for the Knicks was a bench score, instant offense, and they're used to that. But on the starters' minutes and the starters' level, IQ's starting to grow into a consistent effort in the starters' level and not just as a bench scorer. In some ways, you could say what IQ was doing for the Knicks is what I want Grady to do for the Raptors. Let's just put it that way. That's it right there. Skywalking saying, so SGA got mad because they didn't beat the Warriors' single season win record. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like they weren't going to lose again the whole season. They have injuries. There's no way they were going to make it that far. That's right. Name is saying, let's fucking go, baby. Massive win. Don't think the rest of the league was not paying attention. Yeah, NBA media is putting us on blast, and Scotty's an all-star for sure. We're just going to have to see whether we get more recognition now, more respect. Announcers to start saying, that's what the Oklahoma City guys said, Michael Cage, after the end of the game. This Raptors team is really good, is what he said. This Raptors team is really good. That's going to rattle a few teams for sure. That's right. Chloe's saying, hey, Lex, can we give dunks to Masai and Bobby? They knew right away Scotty is that guy. Scotty wasn't necessarily showing signs of this when he started, and they could have pivoted along the way. Kudos to the front office seeing this with Scotty and stuck with him even when it was not going well. There was never an unwavering part where either the front office or even me ever doubted Scott. No, I don't see this. I don't remember this, Kaloy. When was this period of time where we kind of were doubting Scott and what he could become? It's just that we didn't know exactly what he's become because it wasn't a complete picture. And in some ways, we had to be open to the idea of all kinds of possibilities and potentials without the real concrete thing. If we were going to go by what people were saying, he was going to be a Magic Johnson and just be a point guard at 6'9" and not do any of the low post stuff that I was telling everybody he needs to do. And he has done now. And now he's a way better player for that. Just imagine if he did just get saddlebagged as a guard from the start, like some of the more younger fans wanted. Oh, God, he's a point guard. He should only be playing point guard. There was that whole Scotty point guard movement, which was silly, which is kind of goofy, immature. And, well, we see where he's at now. So I never doubted him. I'm so happy they drafted him. I saw all this kind of potential in what he's becoming right from the start. And if I saw it, Bobby and Masai saw it. We can definitely give those guys a dunk. You know what we're going to put it down as? Raptors front office. We're just going to put Raptors front office, and we'll give them a dunk. It's surprising that we haven't done this already, honestly, because, and that means Bobby now and Masai from before. We'll give them 2. So we're going to put them at 6 because they each get a dunk. How about that? All right, let me keep running through the chat and get done real quick. Fiercely saying this, not sure if SGA leaving the court without dapping anyone was related to that 73-9 record. I'm not implying that is the reason. I don't think that is it totally. I think he's just a competitor and he didn't like losing. And that's it. If it's not specifically about that record. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not dumb enough to think that he'd actually go and get through the whole rest of the season without losing again. I mean, come on. I know Skywalker's saying yeah, but I don't agree with this. I don't think that's right. Stream, WFam. All right, she's giving me my cutoff at 12:06. I appreciate that. And Slug DZ saying unless SGA thought his team was not going to lose again for the rest of the year, that's nonsensical. Yeah, don't make sense. Don't make sense for sure. And that's what I was just saying. Let's see. Raptors read it. They're on their best behavior. They're respecting. Raps winning is not what the NBA was expecting tonight. This is really good stuff. Make your case for Scotty Barnes as Defensive Player of the Year. This is the kind of stuff I like to see here, man. The King of the North, Scotty Barnes. That's right. Who you going to call? Call 5. That's right. Chet, that ain't a mismatch. That's a match miss. I love it, man. There's so much good stuff here. Wow. All right, we'll keep going. Happy birthday. Big birthday today, Ronald Dupree. Happy birthday to former Raptor Ronald Dupree. He played for the Raptors 2010, 2011. At the age of 30, he played 3 games for us, and he averaged 0.7 points per game. And, well, he is a Raptor. So I'm going to say happy birthday, Ronald Dupree. Oh, is it somebody else's birthday too? Oh, it is? Who's that? Whose birthday is it? Some guy with the middle name Lamar. I went to his Wikipedia this morning to look at him, and he looks so roasted in his picture on his Wikipedia. Go look at Vince Carter's Wikipedia, man. Vince Carter's 49 today, guys. So I guess I have to say happy birthday, half man, half amazing. Why are you so blitzed in your Wikipedia portrait, Vince? You look like you've been on the reefer like me. Seriously, bro. But yeah, it's Vince's birthday, guys. He's 49, y'all. 49 years old today. Vince Carter. Yeah, begrudgingly, I do the birthday for him. Is Mamu an all-round player? He's pretty good. Yeah, for his position, he does a lot of stuff that he shouldn't be able to do, like bring the ball up the floor and drive to the basket and hit threes. Yeah, he's a great all-round player for sure, and he's going to be looking for that money next year, unfortunately. Let me see if there's any breaking news in Raptors land from anybody on here as far as Raptors stuff. Karthika has a stat from 2 hours ago. Let me just read it real quick. Karthika, queen of stats. Raptors have played 18 straight games without a true center in the starting 5. They're 12-6 since December the 23rd, tied for the second best record of the NBA. They're holding teams to the 4th lowest field goal percentage at the rim, the 8th fewest points in the paint, and have out-rebounded teams in 12 of the 18 games. We used to really need Jakob. We used to really feel his void, but we're not right now, according to her stats. Seriously, we played 18 games without him, and we're 12-6. I'm not saying he's not he's very necessary and useful. We should have him on this team. He's good to have, but we are weathering the storm without him better than ever. Way better than I've ever seen us ever deal with Jakob being out. Seriously, that is crazy, man. Some ways that's really crazy. All right, let's see. I'll go ahead and do the classic card real quick. Actually, let me do this. We beat the champions last night. So what do you get? Ask Aubrey, chips and dip. That's right. And if you want straight up Canadian chips with the dip, get K-Pasa organic salted chips. They're fantastic. This is a Canadian company. You're not going to be buying American product like Tostitos or Frito-Lay. And this is the Canadian salsa, Neil Brothers. And I've got the Merciful Mild here. So mild salsa for Lex, along with the K-Pasa chips with a dip. You beat this Thunder last night, the champions. So you go ahead, get the chips with the dip, Canadian style. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Get your brand recognition of Canadian brands, K-Pasa and Neil Brothers. These are good companies, Canadian companies. If you want to buy companies, Canadian stuff at the grocery store, support Canada. That's right. That's right. He's saying, imagine Dematis with Smamoon. Yeah, we've done that. We're not into it. He's not necessary. We don't need that bull in a china shop that Dematis Sabonis is. He seems like a great guy. He's somebody that I would, if he was on the Raptors, I wouldn't be totally upset, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. The money is crazy. The fact that he's going to make $49 million next year is a big turnoff. Let's just put it that way, Skywalker. Yeah, Mike's here. Good to see Mike. He's in here all of a sudden. Mike right at the end. Mamu fits more than Domas. He basically only rebounds well. He's poor on everything else. There you go. Mike is telling the truth about Domantas Sabonis. And we don't need anybody. We're not trying to trade and get anybody. We don't need to trade. So that's what we're saying. All right, this is the classic card of the day. So please write in your full name answer as soon as you know who it is, and you will get the classic card points. Full name answers only. All right, here you go. It's not that classic. Does anybody know who this player is in this Pacers jersey on this classic card? It's not super classic, but this is a little bit of a tough one, honestly. And there's a reason why this one is tough, and we'll see if anybody figures out who that is. James Wiseman. No, it's not James Wiseman. No, it is not Taco Fall. I love that you guessed Taco Fall Skywalking 22. That's an amazing guess. I love that so much, honestly. No, that's not Taco. This is not an absurdly tall man. And this is not James Wiseman, who found his way out of the league. Isaiah Jackson. That's another good guess. Current Pacer. This guy is not currently a Pacer, which is interesting. AJ Griffin. It is not the son of Adrian Griffin, who left the league because the rapture is imminent and he needed to get right with God. So he left. No, this is very interesting. I thought y'all might get stymied on this one a little bit. Should I give you guys some name clues? I know Slug Deezy wants it. All right, this guy's last name is the same last name as an R&B singer. So how about that? There you go. His last name is the same last name as an R&B singer. Yeah, that's about all I'll give you on that. You guys can figure it out. It's weird because this guy is not associated with this team at all. He's associated with other teams that he has played on. And in some ways, I totally forgot that he was on this team. There you go. Slug Deezy figured it out from my clue. Gerald Levert. That's right. That is Karis Levert. And his really kind of brief stop in Indiana. Of course, he's playing currently for the Pistons, right? He's been shipped to Detroit. And he was more well-known recently for his Cavs work, right? And then he was also more known for being on the Nets back in the day. But this is a Karis LeVert rookie card from when he was on Indiana, Brooklyn and Indiana. So that's pretty interesting. It doesn't even look like him. Yeah, the angle is kind of weird on him. But yeah, good job for Slug Deezy, the king of the classic card, undefeated once again, and getting Karis LeVert. And was the clue that got it, wasn't it, Slug Deezy? It was the clue. I was like, he's got the same last name as an R&B singer. And he's like, oh, it could be Levert. And that is what it is. That is what it is. So Slug Deezy, I think it's pretty tough. So I'm going to give you 200 on this one. Just because it was kind of a weird angle and it didn't look like him. And it was also weird for him to be in a Pacers jersey. I don't remember Karis LeVert of the Pacers very much. Yeah. It was the clue. There you go. There you go. I love that. I love when a plan comes together. There you go. There's your 80s reference right there. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Reacting to the Raptors' great win over the Thunder, the champions, is a signature win. Is definitely an eye-opening win to the league. This is what I was hoping would happen. The accolades and the shine for Scotty and Emmanuel and Darko are deserved. Coach of the year, defensive player of the year. And, well, IQ just wants y'all to get off his back. So there you go. My stars of the game for last night's game are Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, and Jacoby Walter. And our referees for tonight's game against Osceola Magic with the Raptors 905, CP Painter, Gina Catanzariti, and Jacob Lear. So if you want to watch the 905 with us around 7 o'clock, we'll be on YouTube in the chat. The RFF is strong in there. And if you guys want to hang out with us and watch some G League action tonight, it'll be going on around then. All right, I appreciate everybody joining me today for this Lexathon, a mix and match of going over the game and just different stuff. I didn't even do the box score today. But either way, the Raptors did a fantastic job and all kinds of stuff. Maybe I'll look at it just really fast, the team stats on the box score as far as like Where did we beat them? The Raptors didn't shoot as well as them. We did shoot better at 3. We made one more 3 than them. We shot worse at the free throw line. We did out-rebound them 51-37. That's huge. The assist-to-turnover ratio, 28-11. So very, very good there. Fast break points were limited, but we got 20 in the end, and we beat them in the paint, 44-30. All right, let's go, Raptors. Keep your heads up high. Enjoy your team. Know your role, jabronis. You're a fan. You're not a prognosticator, an expert, a reporter, a commentator, or any of that. Know your role, jabroni. You're a fan, and just enjoy the wins and ride along and be passionate and love your team. Support your team. Nurture your team to success and the next Larry O'Brien coming to Toronto. Let's go, baby. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Speak it into existence.